Sup, fanboys?
What the fuck?
Sup, fanboys? Welcome to a new video. You guys liking it? So, the new drama of the century right now, TQI made a video, that was basically like, craft videos suck. And then Craft made this video that's like, no, you suck. So I watched TQI's video, and it's good, but I haven't watched Craft's quote-unquote response, right? I felt so stupid saying this is a drama or a beef, because it's really not. A YouTuber making a video criticizing another YouTuber isn't beef or drama in any way. To me, that's just kind of, I don't know, just kind of misleading, right? People like to call it drama and beef because they want to see it be drama and beef, and see everything burn down. But no, it's just a guy saying your videos suck, and then you say no, they don't. So I don't see this as a drama. I haven't watched Craft's video. I want to react to it. I watched the first like a minute and 10 seconds, and it's a gem, bro. It's incredible. I gotta watch this. It's gonna take a while because video long as hell. I'm gonna do my best, alright? I am like, listen guys, I'm qualified to say this. You know, I'm like the self-insert character that appears to lecture Squidward, okay? I know I'm the side character, I know I don't matter, but I just have to do this too. I mean, my opinion's always right, like I'm the correct guy. You know? My pappo video was like so right and stuff. Anyways, let's start.
Forsaken dramas can be a difficult situation for the parties involved.
This isn't a drama.
Depending on the subject of the drama, can lead to a lot of back and forths, from petty issues to career-ending flaws. This video is about drama between two channels, how to fix it, and how to move on as better channels going forward. Let's get into the... Nah, there's a time where rent-free becomes rent's due.
Since when was that rent-free at all? I know I didn't quite get this part.
And TQI's critique
It is a critique.
shows just how out of touch with the average Forsaken player he is, with a mindset tunnel visioned on the most extreme what-if scenarios, and towards a format that should not be the standard for game balancing. To preface, I was very much aware of my inclusion in his first go at my videos, in the slop crisis, and me and the team...
Okay, let me pause real quick. I'm gonna go back because I won't be interrupting him. But, I mean, you're the same thing. You're not really in touch with the player base. Like, 90% of your takes are just really weird. Like, saying John Doe is bad. Literally, I don't think a single Forsaken player has said John Doe is bad. Or mediocre, right? And that goes for a lot of things. I'd say you're more out of touch. Like, he's an average Forsaken player as well. He plays the game. I mean, by the gameplay, I hope this gameplay is you. By this gameplay, you're not really an average player because this gameplay is pretty bad. Like, I'm sorry, bro. You're doing really bad in this gameplay, so... An average player or not, you're kind of a bad player, you know, like a newbie player. At least, I'm praying this isn't your gameplay because... Goddamn, bro, you're committing so many mistakes. Of course you're gonna say everyone sucks when you suck at the game as well, but let's continue.
Format that should not be the standard for game balancing.
Also, he got the achievement of too good. Like, this has to be an alt account or something. Or... Wait, maybe he's using old footage. I think he's using old footage. Mayhaps.
To preface...
I mean, this is old footage, it's even more... No, wait, it's the one next to rework. He's not even using old footage.
I was very much aware of my inclusion in his first go at my videos, in the slop crisis, and me and the team had a laugh about it and moved on with our lives. Especially with how nitpicky it was over the smallest minute details, and struggled to address the actual point of said opinion in the video.
Yeah, I haven't watched that video, but... I know, this feels a bit weird. I don't even know if that video was even about his opinions, just about the videos themselves. like being sloppy. I don't know. I haven't watched that video and I don't really want to.
Most minute details and struggled to address the actual point of said opinion in the video. We get it, you can disagree, you can hate us for our takes, but it was extremely laughable to witness it. And we thought that would be it. TQI gets to cope about the 2-time video, he covers the slop farms, and we all move on. But that wasn't the case. Not content with how the section performed, TQI resorted to punching down with the thinnest veil possible of a hit piece, trying to label it as, quote-unquote, constructive criticism.
This sucks. So you're immediately assuming that he did it purely because of, I guess, money or views. That's just like a complete assumption that you just pulled. You just like created out of thin air. So like, yeah, you don't even say what I think happened. You just like label it as if it's what happened really. I know that's kind of weird. You can at least say what I think happened, but no. Also, I hate this. Constructive criticism. It is constructive criticism. He doesn't insult you. He doesn't do anything really malicious. He just criticizes your video. And also, you say punching down, right? I'm assuming he's a bigger YouTuber. I don't know the sub counts. But like, you say punching down, like he's like this big content creator punching down on you. A small, weak little creator. That just makes you look like a victim. Which isn't true. There's no victims here. Nobody's punching down on anyone. It's just a guy criticizing your video. Just because he's a bigger YouTuber, that means he can't criticize your videos. Because that would be punching down, I guess. If he had like 2 subs, and he made a comment, or no, like he made a video, he had like 2 subs, and he made a video back, wouldn't that be punching down? Since he's just a smaller creator and he can't defend himself. No, this logic is kind of flawed too.
Maliciously deconstructing a small sample of my content with levels of unprecedented cherry
I'm gonna let him speak.
picking not seen since Pappo's ASIM video.
Oh, this is the gem where I stopped. Okay, so first off, how do you expect him to literally analyze every single one of your videos? Like all of your, like, you're asking him to watch all of your videos and like make criticism of all of your videos into one. And also, that doesn't really make sense, because if he did that, it would just be a, well, like I'm doing a react video where you just watching all your content say, I don't like this actually. And it wouldn't even really matter, because a lot of things you say aren't really controversial or aren't really that, you know, hot takey. Like here, I can see a Veronica video says she's OP. Yeah, everyone agrees with that. So like what? He's gonna pick a video that's just saying the thing he agrees. I know that's just bizarre. You're expecting him to analyze every single one of your videos rather than just analyzing your worst videos, because whether you like it or not, you still made those videos, and I think he still has a right to criticize your bad videos. I know I don't watch much Craft. I watched some of his videos. I didn't like them at all. I think his opinions suck. But like, if I'm gonna criticize a video of his, do I really have to criticize his entire roster of videos? TQI in his video even says he doesn't want to analyze all the videos because that would just take too long. So he just takes the best examples, right? I know, in my opinion, he should probably have analyzed more videos, right? But still, this just doesn't make sense. This is not something you should be demanding out of TQI.
With levels of unprecedented cherry picking not seen since Pappo's ASIM video.
This I despise. This is what made me want to do this react. This is some Pappo shit you're doing yourself. I was like the first one to make a video on the Pappo video. Like, I know a lot about that situation, right? And this is fucking insane. You're comparing that video to the pappo video. The pappo video. Saying it has the same cherry picking when pappo's video was a fucking disaster of cherry picking. You're comparing to that. You know, this analogy is gonna be kind of weird, but he's using pappo like Hitler here. Like, think about it, right? Yeah, I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's kind of like after pappo's bombshell dropped, it was World War II, and now everyone that disagrees with you is the new Hitler. In this case, he's a new pappo. You know? Just no, dude. You can't do that. You can't compare TQI's video to pappo's video when pappo's video is infinitely worse, right? And you're saying that cherry picking, even though pappo's video had like an insane level of cherry picking. I watched TQI's video, and you know there was some stuff I didn't really like, but it wasn't really cherry picking. He just analyzes parts of your video.
So let's get into the video for real now, and let's see what
Thank you.
TQI has to say for my opinion slop. As is the standard, do not harass him over this.
I don't think you need to say this because I mean it shouldn't really be said, but you know, thank you for saying this. Even though I don't, in my opinion, this isn't an obligation to say because you can't fucking control your audience. They're gonna do it anyways. And I don't even know what's harassment today. Like what, leaving a mean comment is harassment? I don't think so, right? So I don't know, like what, a good job for doing this? Wait a second. He's playing the, let me analyze this. He's playing the 1x rework, but the icon over there shows old 1x, and he's playing old 1x, and everyone's default skins. I think I'm now only realizing that this is Forsaken public testing. You know, this is a pet peeve. Don't take this point seriously, but like, dude, you're using footage from the 1x public testing. Like, I know this is a little nitpicky, I agree. You know, this is a pretty dumb point. Don't take this seriously. But I know that just kind of shows me that you don't play Forsaken that much. Because why would you be using old footage of the 1x public testing unless you're just too lazy to... Unless you're just too lazy to... Just... How can I say this? Just go to the game and record new footage, right? I guess you're like, I already have this footage, why record new one? I know, dude, that's kind of bizarre. No, just a small little pet peeve. Don't take this seriously.
Not condone it in the slightest. Forsaken slop crisis. I'll try to be brief with this part.
Okay, I didn't watch this video, so I'm kind of going in a little blind.
Since, if you've seen it, you already know how weird and out of place it was in the video, and countless others have explained in the comments why the...
I mean, not really. This is kind of more opinion-based, but I do think your content is a little sloppy. Just a little bit, you know. Forsaken slop crisis, I don't think your content really fits there. You're not really that slop creator. Like, sure, your videos are just bad. Bad as an opinion's sake. You know, they're not actually bad. It's all opinions. Actually, no, I take that back. They're bad. They're just bad because, you know, bad research. You know, poorly articulated points, but not slop. I don't consider your videos slop, so yeah, it's kind of weird to include that there.
The opinion slop section felt like TQI was mad as Precious Survivor main got nerfed. I'll keep this brief just to get out of the
Crazy assumption there.
way, as he's probably heard it ad nauseum by now. While it's true that levels do reflect time spent on a survivor and an understanding of their kit, ignoring the fact that I mentioned at the time of making the video, and if you actually did your research, a prior video too, that I started maining 2-time, felt like him trying to get a free jab at my 2-time level. I was already aware of the survivor's glaring issues before doing so, and after seeing for myself how easy and free trick stabs were, it only pushed me further.
Except they're not. They're actually really hard to do. So either you're just good at the game or not. Also, he pointed out this in his video. You don't actually show any footage of you doing trick stabs. You know, if it's that easy, I want you to. Here's something, dude. Play 2-time, record, and in your next video, just put footage, like an entire video footage of you trick stabbing the killer. If it's that easy, then do it. I mean, I can do it sometimes. If I miss, I'm just dead because 2-time's fragile as fuck. But do it. I've never actually seen you trick stab that much. Like maybe one time. I even know one time. Also, your level is important for the discussion because if you have a low level, it shows that you're not experienced with the survivor at all, and you're gonna have a pretty biased opinion. I mean, the same went with John Doe, right? Even though you were level 100, you were still pretty biased. And then later you took back your words. Now I don't know why. Assumption here. Don't take this. No, don't take this seriously. Don't take this like the truth. I think what happened was you started playing John Doe and realized he's actually really good. That's just me though. Really fucking weird to just change your opinion. All this, I'm like, no, John Doe's the best actually. Also, here's a tip. You probably. Hello? Sorry, technical difficulties. Someone knocked on my door. Let me drink some water. Okay, so what I was saying again? Oh yes. Pro tip for John Doe here. Don't place your digital footprint over there. Place it more up. So a survivor doesn't see it and he ends up getting trapped. Because the digital footprint, he either gets caught by the digital footprint because he can't see it, or you get a free hit because he has to walk back now. So yeah, level 100 John Doe. Probably never used that tech before. Yeah, you should use it. It's actually really good. Also, notice the 3 noobs perfectly lined up. Milestone 1, 2, and 3 in the corner. That's actually really funny. Sorry guys, I ran. Okay, let's continue with the video.
Along in pointing out how busted pre-nerf 2-time was.
Yeah, he was.
Even at the cost of impacting my future survivor progress if they got nerfed. And 2...
Oh yeah, also, as I was saying, your level does matter. And just because you're saying the survivor is bad doesn't mean that you're not biased. Like, when I played Guest, no, Survivor's good, sorry. When I played Guest for like the first 50 levels, I thought it was busted as hell. Like, my god, dude, I can block and then I punch. It's so good, right? But as I started playing, I realized, you know, the weaknesses and the flaws. And I realized I was just winning because my team was carrying me. Because it's not that hard to get to level 50. You gain levels pretty fast. You know? Because, you know, they keep rising the XP count. So, yeah, the same goes for a lot of characters, you know? When I played Veronica for the first time, when she released, like, release day, or release night, I was like, dude, she sucks. She's so bad. I can do these skate tricks, but they're not really that useful. And then as I kept playing, I realized she's busted as hell. So, that also goes for 2-time. I don't know if I'm being too loud with my mic here. Yeah. Like, it does matter.
He's learned since the video, if only to add on to his critique, but there's more.
Stop saying critique in quotes. It's a fucking critique. Why is Gazzle there? Gazzle works for you? Dude, the hell you're doing?
Than one person behind them.
Also, this just shocks me. You guys are like an entire team. Like a whole ass team. And it's all script writers. an entire team of script writers, and your scripts are bad because they're poorly researched. That doesn't go too well. Like, an entire team?
scenes. Flying is one of them. The nitpick about misinformation over the 120 health, and how despite correcting it with some text before the video's release, he makes it seem as if we're being malicious in an attempt to make survivors look better or worse than they actually
No. He doesn't do that. Just points out how... He doesn't say you're trying to be malicious. He just points out that it's pretty bad to have that mistake in your video. Like, it could just have been you miss saying it, you know? Like, that's fine. I don't think that's much of a problem. He didn't even make that seem as much of a problem. He like made 2 comments about it and that's it. He didn't focus on it because it isn't that big of a problem. You probably just misspoke or something, right? But he was just pointing out, yeah, entire team, you know, this content, and you still say 120 while recording. That's it. I think it was pretty dumb of a critique. It's a little pet peeve that doesn't really matter, but still, dude, he didn't try to make you guys look malicious in any way. He just tried to say, do better.
are. He brings it up once more in the next
But
video.
what are these lobbies? Why is everyone just standing around getting fucking killed?
So I'll clarify it further then. But anyways, let's get into that second video.
And he left?
Oh. We're gonna do this section by
Okay, let's
section,
go.
starting off with the first one, inconsistency. The main hyperfixation towards inconsistency was my John Doe masterclass, including my meta video.
Yeah, because
where I
it's
stated he
pretty
remains one
big.
of the best killers, obviously.
I want to speak so bad, but he gotta say.
Subject to change after the 1x rework, and my follow-up since the change that won me over, which I'm just gonna call the not masterclass. TQI argues that I'm inconsistent because my opinion changes. Okay, that's an oversimplification, and while a
Okay, let me talk about this. I know I'm interrupting quite a lot. I'm just gonna go back. But he's kind of right. The John Doe buff wasn't anything. Like, oh, a digital footprint has like 2-second cooldown. That's it. That's nothing. And like small little changes, and they nerfed unstoppable. You know, make so you can't even parry. You can barely parry anymore. So, yeah, he's right. That buff, quote unquote, was more of like small little changes to make him a little bit better. I didn't really like them, but that doesn't matter. They weren't mega buffs. In your John Doe Masterclass video, you treat John Doe like he's this terrible killer that sucks. Not terrible, just mediocre killer that has nothing and all that. You know, the old First Second mindset, you know, old First Second players when they were less experienced did have that mindset. Wonder why you have it too. Because John Doe's like the skilled killer, you gotta actually earn the wins, you know, you gotta know the maps and all the strats and all that. Right? But he's right. He's just right. He's pointing out an obvious inconsistency. So just because you changed your opinion, that doesn't mean you're still inconsistent. That's like me saying Killjoy is the best killer. No, that's like me saying Killjoy is the best killer because he's ranged. Then saying 1x is the worst killer because he's ranged and he doesn't have any like easy to hit attacks. That would be pretty weird, you know. It's just inconsistent. Once again, it seems like the John Doe video was kind of rushed. You just put it all together, and when you started playing the game a little bit more, you started liking the killer. So you changed your opinion almost immediately. So, yeah, he's just right. Sorry.
And changes. Okay, that's an oversimplification, and while a constantly changing viewpoint can be confusing or inconsistent, I'd like to remind you that multiple waves of balancing changes and a month plus passed in between both videos.
A month. You change your opinion in like overnight, pretty much. Here's something I gotta say. changing your opinion like this out of nowhere actually is kind of a big deal, because there's a commenter that said this. Hold up, let me find the guy. Shit, where was it? I don't remember. It was a guy that said the obvious. No, not the obvious. It's nothing to do with this, but he said something like, that in TQI's video, everyone was glazing TQI and saying that, oh my god, this craft guy sucks so much. But then in Craft's video, everyone's just like glazing Craft, and it's the same people. And he's right. These people are just instantly changing their opinions, like almost instantly, without really little to no reason. And you did the same thing. A month passes and you're instantly like, John Doe's so good now, oh my god. When he got like minor buffs, he got nothing really special. So yeah, that's not really great. If you change your opinions like that a lot, it's not only confusing, it shows a lack of research, a lack of just thought. You know, you didn't think before doing that video. Is it wrong for me to say that? You know, switching opinions like that isn't really a good thing. It doesn't make you look very good. And this goes for anyone, right? If TQI suddenly changed his opinions on, no, if TQI suddenly changed his opinions and said, you know what, Craft is like super right actually, that'll be really weird. You know, same goes to you.
This is not something I should have to explain to a YouTuber with 200,000 subscribers, but opinions aren't meant to be locked in permanently once you make one. They can change from...
Yeah, you're right. Also, why do you have to point out the fact he has 200 and something thousand subscribers? It doesn't matter how many subscribers he has. It's kind of...
many reasons. In this
It's like the punching down thing.
case, it's because of the buffs John Doe received.
Okay, let's check this buff since it's all in the Days of Footprint cooldown 8-3. Wow, so meaningful. You get to set up your traps a little bit faster. It's actually a really good change, you know. I say good as in making John Doe really strong, because Digital Footprint is really strong now. But that's it. That's it. It's not that much. It didn't really change the ability that much, because 99% of the smart John Doe players won't be placing their traps first thing they do in the round. They're gonna place a trap, start hunting, place another trap, start hunting, you know? Excuse me. John Doe can also use on Digital Footprint. That's also nothing. You know, if you place your trap, you're probably gonna know where it is. Unless you're like really dumb and forgetful. And like constantly forgets where it is. 4-4 reveal 4-6. That's also nothing. Digital Footprints now have infinite lifetime. This is actually really good. But once again, it's really small. Digital Footprints aren't really gonna last that long. And they already lasted pretty fucking long. So yeah, once again, nothing really. Unstoppable duration increase. So he got nerfed as well. Added a trap stack counter above this. Show so many traps per plate. That's it. This is literally nothing. This is just giving Digital Footprint an extra bone. And raping Unstoppable a little bit more. That's it. This is nothing. Like, this isn't anything at all. So, yeah, it's kind of weird when you suddenly change your opinion and say, John Doe is so fucking good now because of these small little insignificant changes. Yeah, it really makes it seem like your John Doe video wasn't really thought out. And like you played John Doe for a little, you were playing John Doe for like the first time, got to level 100, like you started grinding John Doe, and you're like, this character sucks actually. But then you went back to playing it after the buffs, and you realize, oh my god, he's so good now. And you either use the buffs as an excuse, or you know, you actually thought the buffs were why you liked them. This is all assumptions, though. I know what you're thinking. You probably weren't thinking at all.
During that month. And not due to playing him a little more or having a string of good killer rounds.
Yeah, but once again, the buffs are insignificant. They barely changed anything. So it's kind of hard to believe that's the reason why.
The main point TQI makes is that the reasoning for John Doe's jump from terrible to amazing is invalid.
So none of the problems Kraft had with John Doe were fixed.
Jeez, what is this quality, dude? Another pet peeve, but is it hard to just download the video or record the video? Why is the quality so bad?
Between his video where he calls John Doe garbage and his video where he calls John Doe the best killer in the game.
He claims that the quote-unquote QOL changes in the patch don't fix
Yes, they are quality of life changes. They barely change anything. I think literally everyone can agree this was a nothing changed. Nothing changed. It barely did anything. John Doe is just as good as he was before.
the points brought up originally, and I didn't adequately explain how digital footprint became an X factor, and how John Doe became less honest. So, let's address something.
There's something... I never understood this thing though, John Doe being honest. Why is that a bad thing? But because he's a bit more predictable? Yeah, but you can trap people in a corner and pull down their pants and start violating them. They can't do anything. They're stuck in a corner. Here's also a tip for John Doe players, nothing related. If you trap someone, don't waste your time putting digital footprints to, quote-unquote trap, mega trap him. Because they're just going to be wasting your time. It's better to just start hitting him instantly because your spikes are limited. You're going to waste like, what, 4 seconds putting your traps. If your trap's like 6, you're going to have 4 seconds of spikes. So he's going to run away. It's better just hit him. Anyways, going back. Let's just continue.
Did the buffs John Doe receive specifically cover the pain points I listed? No. But did they greatly boost his viability across the board, regardless of skill level? Yeah.
Yeah, but just a little bit. But sure, it didn't cover all your weaknesses. And, you actually make a very good point here. Your point is very good. Clap. That was actually really good. But it still doesn't matter. The buffs were nothing. The buffs just made him a little bit small, tiny little better. So once again, you still aren't answering his concerns, right? It's still kind of weird that you change your opinion on something so small.
They were good changes, and I was happy for them. Some of the problems still exist, and I still listed said unfixed.
Unstoppable was never unstoppable pre-nerf. And we all need to be real here. Unstoppable deserved the nerfs. Like, he's a trapper killer, right? He's a trapper killer. If you get stunned, fuck you. You suck, right? I don't think, in my opinion, this goes for Guest 662, but he kind of needs it because he's kind of sucky, but still. No killer should be able to negate a stun in any way. That's just shitty. I think that's a bad idea, that's a bad thing. No killer should be able to negate a stun. Because it's a stun, it's supposed to be his counter. So, having John Doe just completely fuck over your stun, especially against guests, is just pretty fucking bad. And you can still do it, by the way. If you use 404, you can parry guests, so fuck you, guest. I'm easy to parry, but you never punch me because I'm just gonna get a speed boost and kill you instantly because I'm fast as fuck. Yeah, Unstoppable deserved the nerfs, right? In my opinion, if I was a little more bold, I would say this is factual, but this is my opinion, right? Unstoppable sucked. It was a bad, terrible idea, and all it did was punish a survivor for doing what he's supposed to do. Stun the killer. It's kind of like Harken. It's like Harken. You use your abilities to get punished for that. That's just bullshit. Nobody should be able to be punished. Unstoppable's new rendition is way better. Because it's not really a punish for the survivor. It's just a way to not make John Doe completely useless, It just deters the survivor. It just, makes the survivor think twice before stunning the killer while he's doing an ability. Because if you negate John Doe's spikes, for an example, you're negating his entire point. So I think it's fair he gets a speed boost. But getting a speed boost every time you get a stun? That's just too much. In my opinion, everyone that says Unstoppable is good and needs to be back, it's just a crutch. You just suck at the game. You know, how about you not get stunned? That's the whole thing. You're not supposed to get stunned this game. Speaking of which, I'm tired of this thing first thing that have. It's like stuns are like this ultra big, massive problem. No. Like you get stopped for 3 seconds. Like 3 seconds, and that's it. And 99% of the stuns are very easy to avoid. 2-time stab, just look behind you. And trick stabs are very easy to predict. If you know 2 times. Yes, it's also very easy to dodge. Sheletsky too. Chance not so much, but if he's not literally in your face, the stun is gonna be like 1 second. So yeah, I don't think stuns should be negated, you know. The survivor should be rewarded for hitting a stun, especially Sheletsky's. Alright? Because if you miss your stun Sheletsky, you're just fucked. And the hitbox so small, you're gonna be missing all the time, so not a very good point.
Issues in my follow-up video, but the digital footprint changes do so much more than TQI is
Wow, I can put my digital footprints a little bit faster now. Oh, jeez.
giving them. While you still have a long windup, the payoff of a trap that lasts indefinitely until activated is now actually worth it. And I've been scratching.
It's always been worth it though. Like, it's kind of like Cool Kids Minions. You never know when they're gonna help. If you use them in the right time, they help even more. Like, you put digital footprints around the map, even if it has 165 seconds there, even if it has 165 seconds, it's still gonna be really useful. If you're chasing someone, you're gonna be in the same spot in the map. They're gonna run around the map, unless they're looping you, and you're literally a character that can kill loops. So, eventually he's gonna run into it, or he's gonna get cornered by it. So it was still pretty good. These changes don't do this lots of things you say they do. They barely do anything. They're just like a little bit better. Oh, John Doe gets to put his traps a little more. The traps are invincible and they last forever. Great. That's about it. Nothing really changed that much. So, yeah. What's your point?
In my head since his video why this guy tries to downplay it so much. That area is on lockdown until the trap is activated. Either a noob or
yeah, he's downplaying it because it's not a good change. I'm repeating myself. I should just probably let him talk.
N7 has to spend an ability to get rid of it, or someone has to take the damage.
Yeah, speaking of which, shout out to you fucking N7 mains. Stop putting your clones in the digital footprint, giving John Doe a speed boost. Fucking N7 main. I'm so tired, right? I play Dusakar, and there's this dumbass N7 who keeps putting his clones in the digital footprint John Doe plays. He's giving us free speed boost. Right?
And run to an Elliot or a Builderman dispenser. Either way, the killer gets speed 1 for 10 seconds, so you can't really activate the trap willy-nilly. The reduced cooldown makes rollout slightly faster, and reduces the impact of an N7 throwing a clone on top of you while you're
the impact was beneficial. You got a speed boost.
stomping your foot, so you don't have to wait 5 seconds to place another puddle. The X-ray and
Oh, sorry, let's talk about when you're putting the puddle. No 1-7 does that, by the way, and even if you did that, nothing. It's a fucking digital footprint. Digital footprint was never really that big of a deal anyways. You're always gonna... The best thing to kill someone is the spikes. The digital footprints are just an aid to make you a little bit better, you know, especially putting it in loops, but that's kind of about it.
Counter also serve as valuable information, allowing you to keep track of whether a trap was activated without you noticing during a chase.
Listen, buddy, not to be rude, but if you don't know how many traps you put, and if you don't know where they are, you're just dumb, alright? Sorry. But, like, you just forget the moment you're, like, focusing the Dusakar. It's like, wait a minute, how many traps I have? That's just
The
pretty
infinite
bizarre.
duration also gives traps a stronger map presence, and the other 3
A
changes
little?
serve to help you keep replacing traps as survivors try to get rid of them.
Wow. So meaningful. This is literally nothing.
But how exactly does this turn Digital Footprint into an X Factor, or make him less honest?
He's still pretty honest. Nothing changes.
Simple. Whereas before puddles could be waited out, you're now forced to clear them.
Wow, I have to wait 160 something seconds for the puddle to, I guess, evaporate. Who's gonna wait 160 seconds for a puddle? If you're getting chased, you don't have the time to be waiting around like a little bitch. You're gonna die. Like, sure, I think it was kind of shitty that the traps just kind of faded out. That sucked. I like that they're permanent now. But still, that's so small. No one's waiting out puddles. They're extremely not that important. Like, sure, if someone steps on a digital footprint mid-chase, they're just gonna die. But a lot of the time, you're gonna step on them outside of chase. And old digital footprint was 160 something seconds. That's like what? 2 minutes and a half? No, almost 3 minutes. Is it? I think it's just 3 minutes. Right? I don't know, I forgot. 6. No. It's like 2 minutes and 40 seconds, I think. That's still really good. Like, that's half the game. Apollo was gonna stay half the game. Who's gonna wait half the game to pass by a little thing? That's just preposterous. Like, Forsaken games usually last, like, what? 4 minutes? 5 minutes? Your puddle's gonna last a lot of time there.
If you want to get past them, and with a cooldown so short that it's irrelevant, plus perfect information on what puddles remain or got used, activating puddles to open up areas will more often than not result in the John Doe much more easily putting them right back. So
okay, here's something. You were saying TQI was like I don't know the word, underlying the changes and, you know, kind of dumbing down the changes, like, oh, these changes aren't that much actually. You're kind of doing the opposite. You're making these changes out to be like massive and humongous. They're not. They're really small. You know, this kind of exaggerated.
now you need
Jesus, I'm in 6 seconds. I'm yapping too much.
Newborn
6 minutes.
7 to be able to counter puddles without taking lots of damage.
Once again, you clearly don't know about this game because any good player knows, and then 7 shouldn't be doing that.
And doing so is much less effective. Okay, the digital footprint completely locking down an area.
It already did for 2 minutes.
And forcing players to activate it if they want to go through the trapped area.
No one was gonna go through it anyways, and no one's gonna wait 2 minutes to go through it.
Enough for someone like you, but for a whole lot of others, it is.
Not really. When these changes came out, 99% of the players were like, meh, this doesn't matter.
This is an opinion and not a fact, and it's kind of weird you're trying to talk it off as such.
Also, no, he doesn't treat it as a fact. Right? I mean, I still think it's a little bit stupid that your opinion is that it's like a massive change or whatever. But it doesn't make it up that his opinion is a fact. He just says what he thinks. Once again, his constructive criticism is constructive criticism. He's just giving out his opinion. And what? Does he have to, every time he says something, in my opinion, at the end? Fuck no. You should recognize when something's an opinion. Speaking of which, sorry. Fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something really cool. Oh yeah, I think he probably got the idea that the players, you know, really like this change. Because, once again, that commenter pointed out, I can find the comment, that people are very biased in the comments and usually agree with everything the guy says, because leaving a negative comment, it probably won't get that much recognition. So, yeah, he probably, like, read his comments and people were like, oh my god, these votes are incredible. And they're like, I have no idea what they're talking about. Like, they're 1x mains or something. That happens a lot in a lot of videos. It also kind of happened with the pappo video, where people were just, like, agreeing with me on pretty much everything. It's kind of weird. Like, even I disagree with some things in that video. But, like, some people were, like, overglazing my video and overglazing the pappo haters. But then in Pappo's community post, people are like, oh my god, Pappo, you're such a victim. These guys are such assholes. And it's like, dude, we know what you're doing.
An honest ability presents clear and obvious counters most players can exploit. Gashing Wound is on.
Yeah, but digital footprint is just as honest as before.
Honest, because its sole purpose is punishing survivor mistakes since you stop and place to swing. Pizza
Wait, can I see something? Look at this. Look at this over here.
is punishing
He parries. Look at that.
survivor mistakes.
He parried the guest here. He parried the guest. I just want to point that out.
Since you stop and place to swing. Pizza delivery is
Yeah, not so much. Gashi Moon is not just to punish a survivor for like messing up. That's just not the best way to use it. Like that's a good way to use it. You know, one of the best. But Gashi Moon is also really good. Just pop out mid chase if the survivor is on 0 stamina. If they can't run, you have extra stamina and you're faster, so you're gonna be very close to them. You can just use it when they run out of stamina and they can't run. And it's not just a punishing tool.
honest because Cool Kid's minions can be led away or killed, leading to a long cooldown without your anti-loop. Corrupt Energy is
Yeah, that's fair.
honest because it's an annoying to use range attack with a generous windup that gives distance if John Doe misses the snipe, and
Buddy, I'm pissed. I'm motherfucking pissed. You're using the spikes to snipe? The hell are you doing? They're traps. You're supposed to trap people with the spikes. Are you even on the same planet as me? Speaking of it, I was watching your gameplay. I just realized you didn't use the spikes to trap anyone. All you did was try to snipe. I'm not gonna use the R word this video. I'll be serious, dude. I swear to God, that milestone for John Doe was on the generator. John Doe was in the generators to get that, because there's no way you're using John Doe spikes, the evil scary spikes, as ranged attacks. They're a trap. They're like artful. They're like artful walls, but sexier. Like, you put a giant fucking wall and trap someone. You're not supposed to snipe with it. What are you doing?
time for a sentinel to stun him when the ability's over.
Yeah, nobody does that. Like, the only one who does that is like Chance, and occasionally Shaletsky. And now Unstoppable got you covered. And if they wait around till the ability ends, if you're lucky enough, you can just walk away and they're fucked. And once again, why are you using it to snipe people? I'm so shocked. I'm so shocked on that.
New digital footprint lacks counterplay outside of Noob and N7. Most of the time...
Yeah, but it never really had counterplay to begin with. It didn't change at all. All it did was that it ran out. That's it. You still didn't have counterplay. Like, or you waited 2 minutes and 40 fucking seconds. Yeah, that's great.
You have to just play around their presence.
Hey, no, am I seeing this right?
With a generous...
He's using a golden skin. He's using a golden skin? I refuse to believe this guy. No, this isn't him. This is Flying Cat. I know who that is. It's probably like a team member or something. Because I refuse to believe Kraft plays this game long enough to have golden skins. Already paid for it. I don't know. How can... If you're sniping with spikes, you shouldn't have golden skins. Unless you're like playing this game 24/7.
wind up that gives this time, you have to just play around their presence. So, what do you call this newly dishonest ability that is harder to remove and always...
It's not this... let me open my door. It's not dishonest. It's the same thing. My dog was... on my door. I know what he wants, dude. Guys, wait a second. Guys, I'm back. I know what my dog wants. He's looking at me like I said retard again. Okay, let's go. I'm so shocked.
This gives John Doe a big advantage over the survivors.
No.
An X Factor!
No. He's just as strong. Once again, the changes are minuscule.
Next, Error 404's increase in aura reveal from 4 to 6 seconds.
Literally nothing.
You're still slowed down massively, but those 2 seconds of aura reading actually makes up for it.
No. Who cares? It's 2 seconds already. You're only using this to see where the survivors are after you kill someone. Or see a survivor mid-chase if they're, hiding a little bit. That's it. You're not gonna use this a lot.
Sniper Does will tell you. Previously,
Wait.
of aura reading actually makes up for it, as Sniper Does will tell you.
Okay. Fuck the sniper though. You're not supposed to play sniper though. That's like saying. That's like saying. I know. It's like saying. Let me think of an example here. It's like saying SMG sniper is like important to the matter. No, it's fucking sniper though. Sniper though shouldn't even make sense, right? If you're playing sniper though, you can't be saying John Doe sucks when you're not even playing him right. You're playing like a subclass. You're playing like pistol scout here. You're playing shotgun engineer. You're playing fat scout.
Previously, popping corrupt energy after 404 error resulted in the highlight fading right before the ability.
Yeah, because you're not supposed to snipe a bit. You're supposed to trap a bit. Sniping is like this additional little thing. No, like the damage. It exists for a couple of reasons. First, so the survivor gets a little bit scared to try and leave because he could get damaged, and it deals a fuckload of damage. Not that much. It's like 30 damage if you hit it correctly, right? But it's like for the survivor to not get to be scared of trying to leave because he could get damaged, and that could be pretty bad. Secondly, it's for clutches where you kill someone last second, because these spikes are pretty easy to hit, all things considered. And third, the damage is also to punish someone. Let's say someone is a bit too close or someone's like behind you. You can, use the spikes to do that. It's just a little bonus, just the damage, just to make up for you having to stop and all that, right? So yeah.
Ended, which made John Does more likely to miss snipes through walls and also fail to
Once again, why are you sniping? You're not supposed to snipe.
notice if your wall barely failed to trap a survivor. With these 2 extra seconds to compensate for corrupt
if your wall barely was able to trap a survivor, it's probably because you were trying to snipe him rather than trap him.
energy's long windup, it's never been easier to use corrupt energy on people behind walls, which is ideal for
And why are you doing that? You do that to trap people. Why would you do that to snipe them?
character known for drowning in wind-up time. Oh yeah, the unstoppable buff. Let's talk about that too. It's still an annoying parry gimmick that falls into the same issues as guest 133.
Yeah, speaking of which, the parry was probably not even intentional, right? He's probably rushed a nerf and that's it.
Block, and the increase from 2.5 to 3 seconds of speed 1 at base is mostly just compensation for
Wait, I swear to God that fighter got nerfed. What the hell? Well, I was wrong on that. This is also a nothing change, but it fucking sucks. In my opinion, Unstoppable needs to be completely removed from this game because this game has no place for a stun destroyer. Like, no stuns for you, thank you so much, right? Bloodhound fucking sucks because there's no stuns and you can't defend yourself. But at least that's short and there's a bit of counterplay, right? Unstoppable is just kind of like free. Free anti-stun. It shouldn't be in the game. This buff fucking sucks. No, we don't need buff in Unstoppable. Unstoppable is garbage.
5 to 3 seconds of speed 1.
It should only exist. Unstoppable should only exist if you're doing Corrupt Nature and Digital Footprint. Because you lose your spikes, you lose your things, so you probably should get something, right? Otherwise, Sentinels would just be hugging your ass. But not for 404 error, because no, it just sucks, right? Once again, Unstoppable should only be for Corrupt Nature and Digital Footprint.
Is mostly just compensation for the time spent exiting the stun animation. It's definitely not the main reason why I was happy, and I literally stated in the Not a Master
He's using footage. Look at this.
class that it still needed changes.
Okay, let me read this real quick. On those it sucks.
Which leaves me to believe TQI could be cherry-picking statements. The point I'm trying to make is that this patch was a compromise. While I
Once again, dude, it was literally fucking nothing. It changed nothing. Barely anything about John Doe.
would have preferred fixing the fundamental issues in his kit, they were only suggestions, and my takes for what could change should not be taken as blind gospel. I'm not a developer for the game, and they most likely have a different view for what he could receive balance-wise.
Here's the thing though, Craft. Like TQI pointed, these criticism videos on the game are actually pretty impactful because they watch these videos and they think, right? You know, this guy could be right. So if your video is kind of poorly researched and poorly thought out, that's not very good. And I know what you might say. I know what people might say. Yeah, but like, dude, if the devs don't know what's good balancing, then that's the devs' problem. Well, not really, because you're still making a bad video with bad arguments and bad takes, right? And if the devs hear that, then that's also in the fault of the devs. The devs are also being dumb. But you're the guy who's suggesting this crap. You're the guy that's still, you know, suggesting all this stupid stuff. So, yeah, there's some. Still, you know, I think it's okay. I think it's only fair to criticize a creator for making bad videos, bad criticism videos, because those are important for the game and the devs.
I just don't know about. These videos are first and foremost made to argue why something should be changed, not to specifically enforce my view of what's to change.
Yeah, here's something too. Criticism to the TQI video. I think Craft is right here. Another good argument. But it's just really small in TQI's video. He didn't really linger on this that much.
With the how to fix section being my 2 cents on how I'd fix the issues presented, so I'm not leaving people with nothing in that department. I don't know why people thought otherwise, but at least I can clarify that right now.
Yeah, thank you.
For example, one of my older videos regarding Cupid's arrow for Exaria had suggested changes that weren't accepted, but still brought to light the issues players experienced with it, so it was buffed in a way that became viable.
Okay, wait a second. So you're admitting that the changes section does influence somewhat and does make an impact because you're suggesting changes. They might think about that. People are saying these changes, as in people is crap and his subscribers agreeing with him on his comment section. People are suggesting these changes. Maybe they're good actually. I don't know. Yeah, no. So, yeah, you're admitting, yeah, it is in fact. No, it is in fact, I think we shouldn't just hand wave the suggestion part. The suggestion part about the fix it is still, part of your criticism video. Your videos about criticizing the developers. You're kind of like saying, I think this is what should be done. That's what you think it should be done. It doesn't matter that it's your opinion. Yeah, let's just go on.
Focus was too much on John Doe and 2-time for him to notice that in my videos.
Constructive criticism.
Don't put that in quotes. It's constructive criticism.
Just sliding this in to point out, since you posted it in the Content Creators Videos channel.
What's wrong with that? See, look, he even points out, do not think this is some drama or hatred fueled. It is not. He's just criticizing your video. That's all he did. Right? He just watched your videos like, this video suck. I want to criticize him. That's it. What's the problem? What's wrong with him posting this on the... I think this is Forsaken Discord server. No, I don't use Discord that much. And saying it's constructive criticism. Because it kind of is. He doesn't do anything malicious. He doesn't... insult you.
As constructive criticism. Where was it in this section? Where was it? You made the argument that I'm inconsistent and then provide nothing constructive about it.
Kind of did. Also, you're literally proving one of his points that instead of using evidence, you just kind of raise your voice. That's kind of what you're doing here.
That's just critique. and further adds to the claim that this is just you punching down because you disagree with my takes and opinions.
Okay, here's something, dude. Show me a clip. Okay, this is more a critique of how you edit your videos. If you're, trying to claim that he didn't show any evidence or whatever, show a fucking clip. Show a clip. Like, do something, anything, because all you're saying is just saying. If someone didn't watch the original video, fuck you. Fuck me, I guess. They're just gonna believe what you're saying because you provide nothing at all. And your fans probably are not gonna watch that video because they're biased towards you. They're your fans. So yeah, no. Oh, sorry.
That this is just you punching down because you disagree with my takes and opinions.
Also, what's wrong with that? Also, once again, he's not punching down. Just because it's bigger than you doesn't mean he doesn't have the right to criticize your videos, right? And also, I was gonna make this joke. You're punching up, dude. Also, let me remember what I was gonna say. I completely forgot. But let's just go on.
Lastly, and I especially find this one funny because of the blatant incompetence, you want to claim that the digital footprint changes were just a QOL change.
If
Yes,
anything, these
they
changes
were.
to digital footprint were solely quality of life changes, and in no way do they overhaul the move or
Yes.
address any of the issues you hated before.
But
Right.
then in the same section,
Dude, can you stop doing that with your voice? Can you just talk normally? Once again, like he said, like, I think that's just the way you speak, but you like keep raising your voice and pretending like you're right. Like, it's kind of like this. We hear this a lot. If you just say it if you just say it with confidence, people will agree with you. That's just the truth. Squidward was right. If you just say what you are saying really loudly and with confidence, people are just gonna believe you. Ever been to a church before? That's what they do. They just speak really loud and with confidence and aggressively. So you're confident what you're saying. Just say normally, dude.
call it a buff.
And sure, they are good buffs, but for the millionth time, those buffs didn't fix anything that you originally...
That isn't inconsistency though. A quality of life change is still a buff. It can still be a buff. Yeah. He said it's a buff because it is, but it's still a quality of life change. It's not that big, so I think it's fair to call that quality of life. It doesn't matter if it's quality of life. If he's calling it quality of life, it's a quality of life change that benefits the John Doe, so it's just a buff. So, what's your argument here?
said made John Doe bad.
So, which one is it, TQI? Just a quality of life change in Forsaken, or an actual buff?
Once again, just because it's a quality of life change doesn't mean it's not also a buff.
Hypocrisy of calling me inconsistent when he can't even make up his damn mind in the same video.
Yeah. Once again, I'm just gonna repeat myself again. Just because the quality of life change doesn't mean it's still not a buff. These are not different things. They're not even the same criteria. Also, can I consider this cherry picking? You just pointed this out. Where's the rest of the hypocrisy in the video? You just pointed out this one small little thing, huh? Yeah.
Meaningless analysis.
Alright, you know the drill.
Let's go.
Let's go through each of the points he makes in this section that I find issues with. Guess
I'd love to.
237 is the textbook example of a noob trap.
No. Speaking of the statement, Craft's kind of right, but this is not fault of the game. This is not a fault of the game. This is a fault of the community. So, Craft is wrong because he's framing this as a problem with the game, but in reality, it's just a problem with the community overglazing Guess to Hell and back. and everyone playing guest, you know. But this isn't a problem with the game. The game in no way makes guest look like a really good character or a very easy character. In fact, if you didn't look for the community, if you aren't in the community, you probably wouldn't be playing that much guest as a new player, because he instantly screams not for you, because he's hard as fuck to play. So yeah, once again, that's a community thing. I need to test on speaking too loud. Hello? Hey? Guys, give me a second. Shall we continue? Let's go.
This is
With guest 1337 is the textbook example of a noob trap.
This is also just blatantly wrong. Guest is not a free character, meaning he's not intended to be used by players just starting the game. He's also rated a 4 out of 5 difficulty survivor. In other words, there is absolutely nothing about Guest that deceives new players into thinking he's easier to use or more overpowered than other survivors.
Hold up. Okay, I'm recording. Why laughing?
Wow, starting off strong, are we?
Okay, you're doing the same thing, like laughing, haha, see, isn't this so funny? You're not proving anything.
Both of these things aren't quite true. 500 points is really cheap in Forsaken, and can be earned pretty quickly. And the 4-star difficulty...
Yeah. I know, I guess could make the argument that you're gonna buy Guest first, because he has a cool design or whatever. A lot of people probably buy guests first because they keep seeing YouTube shorts of these pro-ass guests in their private servers practicing.
tends to have a reverse effect. Noobs will see a harder survivor and think that means they'll be better than other survivors
Oh, then fuck the noobs, dude. They're dumbasses.
if you get really good at them.
So they're not good at the fucking... Alright, sure.
Is of course true for the top 1% of guest mains, but for noobs, they'll see his upsides, the ability to prevent damage with block, the parry mechanic, and the extra health, especially that extra health. They'll think, I should invest my time into this survivor for a big payoff when I get good, not knowing that guest is mostly just a really hard mechanical skill check to test your reaction time.
Yeah, so the noobs suck, and they shouldn't be playing guest. Once again, the whole noob trap of guest is entirely the community. If you just start playing the game and you don't see any YouTube trap, don't see any videos, you're probably not gonna buy guest first. And when you buy guest, you're gonna play him for like 10 rounds, suck at him, and go play another guy. The only reason people stick to guest is because he got overglazed by the community, and that's
But he
it.
completely ignores
It has no fault to do with the game.
the fact that Guest can react block, drag block, or just predict correctly.
Yeah, if. That doesn't make
If, then do it.
the survivor good overall.
Except it kinda does. Because if you do that, you're strong as fuck. If you're not doing that, you're not playing guest correctly then. Once again, bad players not playing a character correctly doesn't make the character bad. Just because a player sucks doesn't mean he's bad. Let me go an example. Scout. Scout players are terrible. They're always garbage at the game. Most of the time, right? They usually suck at the game. Does that mean Scout is a bad character? No. He's a really strong character if you use him correctly. And the same could be said for a lot of other characters in other games. So, if he does that, he should be doing that. If you don't do that, you're sucking. You're not playing the game right. If you're just predicting all the goddamn time. Ok, eu já falei isso. Okay, I'm back. Once again, bad point.
In your first section about inconsistency, you explicitly mention that characters should be judged based on their performance in a lobby of quote-unquote good players, not top 1% players.
You should always be breaking down characters under the assumption that they're being used by a good player against other good players.
And good killers
Not really also. In my opinion, I think you should judge a character on all skill levels. You should take all skill levels in account. Are the newbies playing it well? Most of the time, no, but, depends. Are the newbies playing it well? That's sometimes really important. The performance of newbies is really important. Are the middle players, the good middle players, the more skilled players, are the good players playing good? And are the, cracked pro 40,000 quadrillion days playing good? That's important. It's important for you to see all players, right? Not just 1% or the other, right? Personally, I think the most important is the good players for obvious reasons, because bad players like you, Craft, tend to, be a bit biased, or oftentimes just in general just don't do well, and they blame the game for not being good.
will know all of guest tricks and will be varying their swings to catch you off guard and prevent prediction, or feint M1s behind them to bait out react or drag blocks. So when you're playing guest, just being good doesn't cut it. This
Wait, let me go back.
Assumption that they're being used by a good player against other good players.
and good killers will know all of guest tricks and will be varying their swings to catch
Yes, and a good guest can very easily just counter the counters and not be dumb. It's not that hard to not fall for tricks as guest, alright? Block baiting isn't that strong if you're just reacting. And if let's say it's a cool kid. If it's a cool kid, you probably shouldn't even be blocking as M1s to begin with. But let's say it's like a slasher, a cool kid, a character a bit more difficult to parry and block. In that case, I was gonna say again. In that case, you just don't fall for their tricks. If you fell for their tricks, that's a you problem. You sucked at the game, and they're better than you. They know your tricks, so you should know their knowing and stuff. That's just how it works. If you're playing guest, you're not just gonna follow blindly like, oh, I'm just gonna react. I'm just gonna predict and stuff. No, you should, analyze the situation. You can't be falling for obvious tricks. It's very obvious when a killer is also block baiting. The best way to not get caught lacking, missing a block, is to just not block unless you're 100% certain, right? A problem I see guest players doing is that after the first block bait, they attempt to block, not expecting a second one. Once again, those are just counters. Just because a character has a lot of counters and takes a lot of skill doesn't make him bad.
you off guard and prevent prediction, or feint M1s behind them to bait out react or drag blocks.
Also, this is extremely specific. This weird-ass scenario that barely happens. And if it happens, you get an M1. That's it. And after it happens once, the guest is probably not gonna fall for it again unless he's really stupid.
So when you're playing guest, just being good doesn't cut it.
Yeah, except it does. Being good with guest is actually really, really strong for your team. And guest can become one of the most powerful survivors by just being good and having the presence of a good team.
This survivor arguably demands the most skill out of every survivor in the game, and is the hardest to play, owing to the fact he has to reliably react to killer M1s without falling for feints. If only 1%, probably even less than 1% of all guest mains were super powerful survivor gods, and
It's not just 1%. In fact, if you play Forsaken a lot, you will encounter a lot of good guests, right? You encounter a lot of bad guests, but even more, arguably, even more good guests. There are a lot of good guests in lobbies. Speaking of which, what's the problem with a character taking a lot of skill? What, you're saying, I don't know if I'm misinterpreting this, but are you saying that if a character is not easy or if a character is the hardest, that means he's bad, right? That's kind of the thing too. There's always gonna be the hardest survivor. There's always gonna be the worst survivor, but that doesn't exclusively make them bad. Just because they're the most something negative, doesn't mean that they're bad, right? Just because Guest takes a lot of skill, and he's like not as good as Sheletsky and the others, doesn't mean he's not a bad survivor. And in the right hands, with the right team, he's really good. I suck at Guest. I'm really bad at Guest, and I suck at Guest, and even I can actually perform really well by just trying.
And
So,
the other,
like, no.
99% die pretty easily. You can't just ignore
It's not 99%. It's more accurately like a 35%.
the vast majority and point to a tiny minority of examples as representative.
They're
of
not
the
a tiny
survivor as a
minority.
whole. The world
I mean, I'm not pulling this from my ass or anything. Just like playing the game. Guests aren't as dumb as people make them out to be. You know, the YouTube Shorts video you find of the guest missing his block, that's not as common as you think. A lot of the times when you're playing Forsaken, guests aren't dumb, alright? The dumb era of guests is over because this game is already 1 year old and people are not dumb anymore.
doesn't revolve around you.
My friend Milcora is over level 4.
Wait, can you?
The survivor as a whole. The world doesn't revolve around you.
Yeah, you wanna know something else, Craft? The world doesn't involve around you sucking in the game, so you're complaining about, oh, Guest is super bad because he takes skill. Okay then, you suck at Guest. The world doesn't revolve around you, buddy. Stop complaining that the character sucks because he takes so much skill, right? Once again, the character was made to take a lot of skill. So if you come here and you're like, no, if you come here and you're like, dude, the world doesn't revolve around you. Stop like being selfish and being like, oh, the good guest players, blah blah blah, right? When you're doing the same thing but the opposite, you're like the bad guest players, and you're thinking the world revolves around you, and that the bad guest players, you know, guest deserves a mega buff for the sheer fact that I am bad at guest and these people are also bad at guest.
My friend Milcora is over level 400 on 2-time, and I've learned how 2-time works from playing Forsaken with Milcora countless times.
Wait, hold up. Wait, is Craft's kind of cooking though? Craft's kind of cooking, but still, this is not that much of a appeal into authority. He's just trying to bring up someone that has experience. Like, no, hold up, this doesn't make any sense. Think about it, right? Imagine I'm having an argument with someone, and he like quotes a philosopher or uses the logic of a philosopher. Is he appealing to the authority because this philosopher is like super cool? Is like the like a smart guy with a lot of aura around him? No, he's just talking. He's just like mentioning this person, and bringing up this person's skill and level with the character because, yeah, they're gonna know a lot of shit about the character if they're like level 300 on them. They're gonna know a lot about it. You should probably, you know, debate the arguments.
And I can assure you, actual trick stabs are not
A nest stab after the 2-time. Nerf.
hitbox abuse.
The second you move forward, you switch from W.
This is all old footage. Here, hold up, let me see
For
something.
you, actual trick stabs are not
A nest stab after.
Okay, this one is post nerf, like a single TikTok. See, you're cherry picking, little bro. This is like a single TikTok. Couldn't I say this is cherry
The
picking?
2-time. Nerf.
hitbox
This also doesn't seem to be new. Wait, hold up, let me see this. I know this looks like old pre-nerf. And you're telling me this?
A nest
You're telling me
stab after
this?
the 2-time.
Here, check this out. You're trying to tell me that this is easy to pull off. You think this is easy to pull off, you're just insane. 99% of the time you're gonna miss. This looks like old, and if it's new... Wait, hold up. Is it new? I can't tell. I know. It might... I think it's new. Even if it's post-nerf, that doesn't change anything. This is like a bug. No, this is like a bug. And this isn't at all easy to pull off. And also, this is just a random TikTok, isn't this? Cherry picking.
Abuse.
The second you move forward, you switch from W to S.
Hit
This is also a bug, not intended, and this is also not easy to do, and wasn't this patched? I swear to God this was patched. Can I see the date on this video? Like, I remember seeing a lot of shorts about this, and a lot of videos about this, and then they were like, yeah, we patched it. It doesn't fucking work anymore. You can't do this.
To S.
And this is also a bug. This is a bug. This has nothing to do with the character itself.
hitbox abuse is because Roblox has a bad desync issue.
Also, yes, this is true. Roblox has a bad desync issue with ping and all that stuff.
But either way, there is no way for a two-time to consistently abuse this desync to their
Okay, not related, but I hate the fried chicken animation on this skin. I don't even have it, but fried chicken animation so weird. Like, he fucking takes the chicken and shoves it in his mouth like he's sucking a cock. It's so weird. Like, he... When will Shaletsky learn to eat a chicken? First, he takes the chicken and just kind of rubs it on his lips. Second, he like does whatever this
Either
is.
way, there is no way for a two-time
Like, he takes a bite of it, then sucks. He takes a bite of it, he sucks on it, then
to consistently
I think he cleans his hand and puts it in his pocket like a half-eaten chicken.
abuse this desync to their advantage. But it's nowhere near that bad in more recent versions of the game.
I'm not. Wait, hold up. Let me see this. And the bottom doesn't make the point go away, bro. And it has that includes account for the fact that the video. He's saying the truth though. It's not as bad as you make it out to be. You're doing it right now. It's not as bad as that. That never happens in barely any games. You like pick. Once again, you're cherry picking. You pick like 3 TikToks. Isn't that technically cherry picking by your logic? And he's right. This is not. It's not as big of a deal as before. And to me, it shows that you're. To me, it shows that. How can I put this? To me, you're still stuck in the past. 2-time got nerfed already. It's not as bad.
First off, hitbox desync was still a big issue at the time the video was made, if you actually did your research, and saying
December 12th, 2025. Hitbox desync. It's not like a Roblox problem. I don't think that's really a Forsaken problem. How is Forsaken gonna fix that?
it's called desync, followed by it's not that bad,
Yes, it is not.
kind of contradicts your point that it didn't happen and isn't abusable.
He's not saying it didn't happen and that it isn't abusable. He's just saying it's not as bad as you think it is. You're putting words in his mouth pretty much.
Either way, desync is
Fuck. I'm not even halfway through this fucking video.
still a way for two-time to
It's awfully good, River.
consistently trick stab. Desync is not some random, unlucky, rare occurrence. It's
It actually is a rare unlucky occurrence. It barely happens, and in my time playing 2-time, like level 90 something, right? It barely happens. And trying it, I've tried doing it, a lot of it before, and 99% of the time, it just doesn't work. You're just gonna die because you face stab the killer and you're a sitting duck waiting to get a gashing wound in your ass. Yes, it is a rare occurrence. It barely happens. And no 2-time uses this tech because they know it fucking sucks. It's like a little gimmick. It's like no-leaf flying tech. Nobody uses it because it's not actually that good. You watch like 2 YouTube shorts and 2 TikToks that make it look good, but it's nothing. This goes for your tech as well.
so prevalent that many people still complain about Forsaken hitboxes.
Yeah, here's the thing though. It's not that prevalent. Why do people complain about hitboxes? Because they suck at the game and they need an excuse, right? This goes for 2-time. Like, people complain about 2-time hitboxes, and they just show clips of regular stabs, just normal stabs. Yeah, why do people complain about hitboxes? Because they suck at the game. It has nothing to do with what you're saying.
even when they do some of the most work to compensate. Most trick stabs at ping higher than 50 will land even if you whip your camera around.
That's also not true. Trick stabs aren't that easy to hit. Even with fucking 20 ping, you can't be hitting stabs frequently. And once again, Craft, you're probably in no position of saying this, considering I haven't seen you do a single trick stab.
That's how bad it is.
It's not that bad.
There is counterplay to trick stabs, and it's this simple.
Yes, there is.
Don't get too close.
This is a bad advice by TQI. TQI is also... This point sucks. I mean, not that much, right? You probably shouldn't be in the survivor's back, you know, sniffing their hair pretty much. You're gonna get trick stabbed. You should keep some amount of distance, like a little bit, right? But yeah, not that good of an advice. But still, it actually kind of is, because what he's trying to say is just don't literally stand in the survivor. Just, you know, walk back a little, you know, after every hit, stop a while. That's it, you know. What's so funny? He's just saying the obvious. Don't be like like sniffing the survivor's hair, or it's gonna be easy for him to get you.
That's the spirit. Spoken like a true 2-time glazer. Have you forgotten about Slasher? The
Okay, here's what Slasher can do. Behead. If he does behead, the 2-time's fucked because he can't stab. Or here's what the Slasher can do. He can use Raging Pace and then and then dash. 2-time's fucked. He can also Slasher. Here's the thing though. Fuck Slasher. That's a him problem. You're the melee killer with no range. Yeah, that's a you problem. That's your weakness, buddy. So, like, that's a killer's weakness. He doesn't have ranged. He's kind of fucked around sentinels. So pay attention. Be a bit more careful. You know, if the 2-time's gonna trick stab you, just, you know, pay a little more attention. And speaking of which, if you're like that close to the survivor, you're gonna gashing wound him anyways. And yeah, so this is nothing. Everyone's saying, oh, what about Slasher? It's just wrong.
killer that is entirely melee range. And
Yeah, that's his weakness. Fuck Slasher. Also Behead.
what happens if my projectile ability is off cooldown? Am I
Well, then, punch him. You're probably not gonna get trick stabbed if you don't suck at the game. If you just pay a little bit more attention. It's not that hard to not get trick stabbed. I play killer every time I play killer and there's a 2-time trying to trick stab. I may fall it once in the entirety of my time playing the server, because once you like get trick stabbed once, or maybe not even get trick stabbed at all, you know that guy's a trickster. That guy trick stabs. So every time you chase him, you pay a little more attention, and if he tries to trick stab you, you just react because of the nerf that makes him easier to react. So
just supposed to not approach 2-time and burn a bunch of time on the clock while I'm waiting?
also, if you get trick stabbed, that's not the end of the world. That's just a little stun. You can just go back. He won't have a knife anymore, so you can rush him down. If he has second life, well, that's kind of fucked, but you're gonna get time by killing him anyway.
Completely out of touch and a disgrace to see on a channel with a whopping 200,000 subscribers.
Once again, why are you fixated on his subscriber count? That shouldn't matter. His subscriber count shouldn't matter. Here, let me go to your channel real quick. Oh, sorry. Fuck, I skipped so much. Where was I? Right, around 15 minutes. I should stop yapping that much. I should probably just... God. You're like, yeah, 22,000 subscribers. Let me just do that real quick. You have 22,000 subscribers. Can I say the same thing? Isn't it such a disgrace that a 22,000 subscriber YouTuber like you has such, like, terrible Forsaken takes with John Doe and stuff? This logic makes no sense. Just because he has 200,000 subscribers means jack shit. Why are you so fixated on that?
Completely out of touch and a disgrace to see on a channel with a whopping 200,000 subscribers.
Also, not really, because he's kind of right. Just don't literally touch the fucking 2-time. Just be a bit more careful, you know. Keep a little bit of distance. If you're gonna melee him, melee with caution. Because no 2-time is gonna trick stab you mid-melee, because they're gonna get damaged.
And countering by simply staying back a little farther doesn't work,
Except it does.
as you need to be entirely out of M1 range to avoid trick stabbing.
No, not really. You hit him, then stop. You hit him, stop a little, then run, hit him, stop a little. And if he notices that, and he tries to trick stab you, you might get fooled or something. But 99% of the times you're not, because you're gonna be unpredictable. Here's the thing. His advice is pretty bad, but all you gotta do is... trick stabs are very easy to dodge, right? Because of the new windup, and trick stabs are pretty easy to predict. Just be a little bit more careful. Just keep a little bit more distance. That's it. It's not that hard to comprehend. This isn't that disrespectful or out of touch. This is just regular knowledge. And your ranged ability is not gonna carry you. When he says don't get too close, he just says not sniff the survivor.
Due to desync. If you wait for the trick stab before attacking, they waste your time.
You don't need to wait for the trick stab. Just attack him. Just fucking attack him. Why would you wait for the trick stab? He's not a guest, right? You should keep attacking him. Trick stab should be just something you keep in the back of your head.
And if you predict a trick stab and then back up and fail, that's a bit of free distance for the survivor every time.
Wait, what?
And then back up and fail, that's a bit of free distance for the survivor.
Here's the thing though. If you back up, he's not gonna stab. He's gonna miss the stab. Not only will he not have a stab, he will have done a face stab, and he will be a sitting duck waiting to get Cool Kid's massive sword in his twink pussy. Yeah. If you back up just a little, it's not gonna hit anymore. This isn't old Forsaken. The hitboxes are not broken anymore like that.
Every time. Additionally, 2-time does have 2 chase tools. Crouch stabbing for free distance still exists.
Except no. Because when the end lag is so fucking long, if you do that, the killer's just gonna catch up. You literally did nothing. If you do that mid-chase, you're destined to get a free M1. So no, absolutely not.
Even if it has a slightly longer windup now, and you have the longest undetectable in the game.
Yeah, the undetectable, that's pretty easy to detect, because I'm chasing it 2-time. He suddenly disappears. Look at the corner. He's over there, jacking off. Easy to find. Also, he makes a sound when he does it, a large-ass sound, meaning it's easy to know if he did it, and just look around. And if he stops doing that, and he's too far away from you, you can see him. So, like, no. Any real 2-time player knows, not even main, just any 2-time player knows, crouch sucks. No one uses crouch. It's just a little bonus feature. Crouch sucks. You're not gonna use it for stealth that much. The best way to stab is, crouch is only really good for the dash, so you can catch up. That's about it. The crouch usually serves nothing, so like no point here.
Activates instantly. If you break line of sight,
Yeah, and makes a large ass sound.
a quick crouch can let you easily exit the chase completely.
Okay. You crouch in a corner, making a loud ass sound. The killer will notice. Gashi Moonju.
Backstabs have to be designed with a quick windup. Otherwise, getting behind a killer wouldn't
This is
even
true.
matter, since they'd have enough time to just run away. As for the self-healing, you can't just ignore...
By the way, I love how he skips the part where, I think it's here that he shows, right? He skips the part where TQI shows a clip of that exact thing happening. And any 2-time player knows that happens a lot.
2-time's notably low 80 base health. This makes 2-time the most frail survivor in the game. other than Elliot, which I'll talk about in a bit. And not only is 2-time the most frail survivor in the game, but they also don't get any healing value from a backstab if they're already at full health. Imagine a scenario where a 1x lands a mass infection. All they need to do is follow up with an entanglement and M1 combo and you're at 1 HP. And thanks to entanglement, that stab is locked behind helpless.
Yeah, he's right.
Giving the 1x enough time to zone you into minions or just land another M1. Not very helpful. Or what about Cool Kid landing a walk speed override that sends you straight into their minions? That's 80 damage, meaning you're just straight up dead. Once again, 20 healing locked behind a backstab isn't gonna save you from a
Yeah, this also goes for the other killers too. Slasher can do gashing wound, that's fucking insane. Noli can do a void rush, or a Nova punch combo, which is 35 damage, which is also pretty big. Guess 66 can do his little dash, but he can also do Inferno Cry and chase you to death, because Inferno Cry is good as hell, and Guess 666 is really good, and literally here's something actually. Guess the 666 is literally impossible to trick stab anyways because he's so fucking big. So yeah, it doesn't matter. Nosferatu, I don't know. I know you do an M1 and a Bloodhug. He doesn't really have much. Like, Nosferatu's good enough.
burst of abilities. And don't even get me started on how much people...
Yeah, guys, gonna have to talk a little quieter because my parents went to sleep. Enjoying you guys enjoy my ASMR? Let me tap on the microphone. Hey, baby. Yeah, baby. Easy ASMR to sleep to, am I right? Okay, I think we can continue here. Let me just close the door. Okay, okay, let's go. I try not to, scream like I was doing before. Let's just go.
over-exaggerate the value of 2-times revive. After revive, 2-time has 40 max health. 40 max health means...
Speaking of which, I want to talk about revive. It's not actually that good. Revive is pretty... Revive is just an incentive for you to stab, because in actuality, revive doesn't help that much, because you're gonna get 40 health, and if the killer gets you in like 10 seconds, you're dead, insta-dead. So revive is really only an incentive to stab, other than stun and help your team, and it usually helps last second. It's just a good thing. It's a really good ability, really good thing, but it's not helping that much. You know what I'm saying? You're better off not dying in general.
1 gashing wound, 1 walk speed override, 1 well-aimed corrupt energy.
What is thing with what about potential balancing?
1 charged demonic pursuit, or 1 void rush.
Aside from failing to address the absurdly good LMS buff they got for free back then, I wonder why.
Back then. Nowadays, you have to get oblation. And why does it do that? Because if you had second life in LMS, it would be too OP. So you need to get second life without having to teleport mid LMS. And now you have to actually have ablation to activate your second life to the fullest in LMS. So back then, you literally said back then, it's not anymore. We're in 2026. This isn't like release day fucking rework 2-time.
Windups on the dagger are not needed to land backstabs. Using the dagger 0.2 seconds earlier means that you still land that backstab at the same time as before. Right?
Yeah, you have to have good timing, just like any other fucking sentinel.
As they run past you, so you don't even need to try crouching behind corners, and losing out on 20 health because you backstabbed at full HP is still better than most other stuns.
Okay, plus you get something. Okay, here's the thing though, 3.5 seconds, it's like 0.5 seconds more than Shiletsky, I think, and really the biggest benefit is the heal, and you're not really gonna hit it because, as I said before, trick stabs aren't that easy to hit.
You already
So guys, talking to my brother.
stunned the killer for 3.5 seconds and filled your ablation bar by 10.
Jogando a partida ainda.
Eu sei, mas pergunta depois. Só me fala depois, porque eu realmente gostaria de poder entrar aí.
The large damage
Mas eu vou voltar aqui, cara.
combos TQI sites are also realistically difficult to pull off
Not really. It's like a single attack.
and not a serious issue affecting survivor viability. Good lobbies, which is TQI's judging metric, tends to lead cool kids 50-second cooldown minions away or kill them, and landing
Yeah, here's the thing though. If you deploy your minions while chasing the 2-time, it is unlikely they're not gonna be on the 2-time unless some brave ass Sheletsky decides to lead them away, which, you know, in a good lobby might happen, but doesn't matter. You can still just chase the 2-time down. One walk speed is half their health in 2 hits. He's dead.
mass infection and then entanglement right after is the exception, not the rule. Dying in a small number of rare situations doesn't suddenly discount the
These aren't rare situations.
fact that landing a single backstab after eating a single M1 essentially makes you a 100 health survivor that round.
Yeah, here's something though. He needs it because if you didn't heal, I mean, you have 80 health. If you didn't heal after stabbing, you have no reason to stab if you're dying. If you're like 1 HP, you have no reason to stab. You're better off just not doing anything and waiting for LMS, and that sucks. So the heal is good for 2 things. First off, 2-time is extremely fragile, and he has practically no self-defense tools other than the janky ass impossible to hit trick stab. Almost impossible. It's pretty hard, and that's it. So yeah, there's no argument here. The heal isn't that big of a deal. Like, what? He's gonna negate a single fucking hit? Oh, tough luck. What the fucking nugs, man? Nothing happened.
Wholly offsetting the lower health downside. And how is ablation weak? Reaching ablation functionally adds 40 extra health to your original 80, making the killer slash through a minimum of 120 health.
Yeah, here's the thing though. If you get caught out, you'll die instantly. And here's the other thing though. Let me articulate this. Here's the thing. You're gonna get 40 health, so the killer just gonna, since you're highlighted, the killer's just gonna find you and kill you with a single attack. Nothing changed. You're still weak as fuck with second life. What's the difference? Second life, you can't even pull any trick stab anymore. You're pretty much just stuck at having no health, having low health. You're kind of like a low health guest. You're pretty useless because if you miss, you're insta dead. So sucks. Oblation is not a bad ability. It's just not as good as people make it out to be.
Plus the teleport across the map to escape and reset the chase. There's a reason killers tunneled down 2 times after getting a single backstab before they got justifiably nerfed.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. What's the problem with that? The same. Like, if I get backstab once, I sure as hell wouldn't want him to get second life. And if I got backstabbed once, fuck me, that's a me problem. I shouldn't have gotten backstabbed at all. I'm the one sucking at the game. Yeah, I'm getting punished for getting pegged by fucking 2-time. What's the problem with that?
Reaching ablation is relatively easy if you've landed a single backstab already. And
No, because you're gonna have to hit second backstab. If he chases you, you're not gonna be able to get it unless you land 2 front stabs or do a tricky trick stab, which also isn't easy to pull off.
good players know that looping is the longest part of the chase, so a chase reset and a second life is better than just having 120 base health, unless there's an Elliot healing you, but neither here nor there.
Yeah, he's right, but once again, 120 health survivor isn't that great anyways. You're just tanking an extra hit.
So the dagger is less reactable than Sheletsky Slash, will likely heal you
No. Wait, yes, kinda. I mean, if it's a dash stab, it's easy to react because the sound is loud as fuck. And I'd make an argument that trick stabbing is way harder than Sheletsky slashing because Sheletsky doesn't need to do a sick ass maneuver behind your ass, right? And he isn't as predictable as a 2-time because he just suddenly, right? So, it's kind of debatable. There's actually a really good debate. Which one's more reactable, the stab or a slash. Speaking of which, the point of the stab is that it's not supposed to be reactable. If you could react to the stab, that would completely make 2-time a useless character. Because like, oh, who the fuck cares? I can just react. Fuck you, right? It's the same reason as to why pairing as John Doe, a guest, sucks. Because you're just reacting to his stun, negating his stun. Nobody likes that.
20 health, and then throw in a free second life. And if you get hit a lot, the backstabs will push your effective health down.
Okay, here's the thing though. That's just called a good survivor. And I could point out the same shit to other survivors. Chance. Oh, Chance has a long range stun. That's fucking insane. Oh, he can hit 130 health. That's crazy. And like, dude, his gun is so powerful. Even if the gun explodes, he can still stun the killer. And it's a gun, dude. It's range. Can I do the same thing for Chance? Sheletsky. Dude, he has an effective health of 180. Isn't that fucking crazy, dude? And he can stun too. And oh my god, dude. Guest. Dude, he can block attacks. That's crazy. Like, there's weaknesses as well. There are piles of weaknesses to 2-time, just like any other character in this game. Aside from Veronica, she's just like, it's perfect.
Round up to 160. And if you don't, the extra health isn't even relevant when you're already winning that hard.
But I'm saying it loudly, so you...
Okay, also, speaking of which, I love this timing over here with the plasma and the... Shot him. Who stunned it? Was it Chance?
Even relevant
Was.
when you're already winning that hard.
I mean, except kind of is. There have been a lot of situations where I killed a 2-time last second and kind of saved the whole round.
But I'm saying it loudly, so you gotta believe me.
Do it with passion or don't do it at all, dude. I'd rather be myself when script writing and voicing than be yet another run-of-the-mill monotone AI TikTok voice. Enough said.
Okay, here's the thing though. She's criticizing the fact that instead of having an argument, you just say it loudly. I don't think there's a problem with you being a bit more expressive. But like, you're not using that expression in a good way. All you're doing is just saying things loudly when you have no real arguments. When you don't have arguments and evidence. No, you have arguments. I'm sorry. When you don't have evidence, clear-cut evidence of what you're saying, if you say it loudly, like I said, if you say it loudly and with passion and with dedication, people are more willing to follow what you say, right? Like, why do you think protesters scream all the fucking time? If I came out to them and say, can you follow my cause? They wouldn't give a fuck. But if I scream, they see, I'm passionate for that thing, and I'm determined, and I'm saying some stuff, right? That's kind of what you're doing right now. And sure, that isn't a bad thing in concept, but you're using it wrong. You're just saying it loudly every time you don't have evidence.
In short, Guest 1337 is still really bad in the hands of most players.
In the hands of most players. I could say the same thing for... Let me make another Sniper. Sniper from TF2. He's bad in the hand of most players. Most players fucking suck at Sniper. Does that mean he's a bad character? Fuck no. Let me give another example. Heavy. A lot of players suck at Heavy. But is he a bad character? Sure as hell not. Let's get another example for another game. Die of Death, actually. People suck with Killjoy. Like, a lot of people are terrible at Killjoy. Doesn't mean he's a bad killer. Certainly not. He's actually a really strong killer, and I think he needs a nerf. So, once again, no fucking point here. He's over. Sorry, talk to my brother again. You want to see my point? Let's continue.
Hence the memes of bad guests being far more prevalent than bad Shedletskis.
Okay, here's the thing though. This also goes, I just said this. This goes for literally anything. A character that takes skill. Of course, there's gonna be a lot of bad players playing him because he takes skill. Oh, gee, never thought of that before.
And the 2-time section is just entirely misrepresenting 2-time in the opposite direction, making them sound like a weak crybaby who crumples if breathed on, and
This is also not true. He doesn't over... I don't know how to say this. He doesn't over pussify 2-time. He doesn't treat 2-time like a bad survivor at all. He just points out the obvious weaknesses that make 2-time a balanced survivor currently. I have to say, I find it so weird. I have to say currently because people are gonna be like, oh, early, dude, they were actually really fucking strong and right? Talk about new 2-time. Fuck old Forsaken, alright? Worse than new version. New 2-time. Talk about new 2-time. He has clear weaknesses. And clear ways to get exploited by the killers. And you know, get absolutely fucked. So yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense to me at least that he's pointing out these weaknesses. He's not trying to make 2-time look weak. He's trying to prove that 2-time isn't busted. I could say the same thing for you. You spend your whole ass video glazing the hell out of 2-time, saying, "Oh, he's so strong. He's so good. He's so good." Isn't it? Same thing goes to your video. Yeah, see?
struggles to trick, stab, and chase when he was anything but before the nerfs, and to a
Before the nerfs. Before the nerfs. Before the nerfs. I'm gonna die. I can't watch this much longer. You literally said it before the fucking nerfs. The nerfs are over. The nerfs are gone, dude. It don't matter anymore. And here, even before the nerfs, it wasn't exactly easy anyways. And 2-time was still heavily punished, literally, for literally existing.
lesser extent, still is now.
Let's see, if I talk really fucking loudly, you're gonna agree. Right? He isn't though. They nerfed the thing that made him way too good, and now he's actually really balanced. Speaking of, looking at this footage, I can see percents. I can see percents in the bars. I don't know if that's toggleable in settings, but it leads me to believe this is an old recording. Speaking of which, I want to share. I want to check this. 3.6.0. This is 1634. I know if that's correct though. Can I find like the exact number? Update log. Because 2026. People blah blah blah. Okay, whatever, dude. This is like a 1. No, this isn't 1.0. This is 1,000 something. Why is it 1,000 something? Does it say like the number here? Documented blah blah blah, whatever. Balancing, whatever. I know, I'm kinda leaning on here reusing footage. Little pet peeve here. Just record new footage, it's not that hard.
Not even mentioning the fact that TQI counters the quote-unquote unprovable anecdotes by then whipping out his own unprovable anecdotes like, this group in Comp Saken agrees with me.
Wait, let me go back.
unprovable anecdotes by then whipping out his own unprovable anecdotes like, this group in Comp Seiken
I don't know how to think of this. I guess he's kind of right. I know. I didn't really understand.
agrees with me.
Not gonna linger on that because I'm just gonna say it. Comptards. I hate competitive players. Competitive players suck. I don't like competitive players. They're not a majority. They don't really represent the community well. So no, fuck.
Foreign works.
Let's get straight to the point. You don't have to like my reworks.
Yeah, okay,
You
good.
can hate them for not fitting your playstyle or argue about their balance, and that's fine. But
Yeah, he did exactly that.
you have to bring up good reasons as to why,
He brought up good reasons.
which is something TQI doesn't do.
Craft's reason for this is that support-oriented survivors shouldn't have good self-defense tools. Interesting point to make, Craft, but doesn't literally every other survivor in the game have access to self-defense tools? Dussaker can zap the killer during chase, Taff can utilize his own traps, and Builderman can utilize his own buildings. In a game where targeting and subpar teamwork are rampant, this version of Elliot is practically destined to get stomped in just about every public lobby. 80 max health with no defense tools? Are you kidding me?
While other supports have nominal chase tools, they're more like chase tools in name than actual reliable ways of escaping a killer.
Okay, here's something I actually wanna talk about. I wanna talk his rework of Wet Elliot. As an Elliot GOAT, an Elliot Glazer, I knew for Elliot because I love Elliot. His rework would fucking suck. You know why? First of all, you're making him a bit too strong. A little bit too strong. Because why? Because you're giving him like a thing that like gives extra stamina to people. I forgot exactly what it does, but like helps with stamina. It's a soda. It's a pretty interesting concept actually, you know, pizza and soda. That's really fun. But he just makes your stamina cool as fuck and really good. That's really strong. So what's gonna happen is you're just gonna get targeted the start of the round. And since you don't have anything to defend yourself, you're gonna die. Not very fun, is it? Nobody likes instantly dying this start of the round because you're pretty much owed 2 time. And I think it's just TQI said it wrong. You know, his point was kind of bad. Just because every other have doesn't mean they should have, you know. But he didn't say why they should have. I think they should have said why they should have. And in my opinion, they all should have. You wanna know why? In literally any fucking game, the support character has a single self-defense. And why is that? That is because if you don't have a self-defense tool, you suck. You have no reason to exist. You're just gonna die instantly, right? Imagine if Medic didn't have the syringe guns. Imagine if he just had Medigun and that's it. And no bone saw. He's fucked. Someone finds him, he's got no chance of escaping pretty much. The same goes for Elliot. If Elliot doesn't have Rush Hour, he dies too fast because he doesn't have the one thing that helps him. You get the picture here, and all the other supports do have a good defense tool. Like these defense tools are fucking crazy. Defense tools are insane. Like Dussakar's zap. I'm playing a lot of Dusakar if you watch my last video. His zap is really fucking strong. Slows killers down. It's pretty much a kind of a stun. It's really good. Taff using his own bombs is also really good. And he can place them mid-chase because it doesn't take that long. Builderman probably has the worst one. No, the second worst one because Elliot has the worst already. Builderman has already the worst one. Right. But he's still really good. It's his Sanctuary. And another thing I gotta mention is that Rush Hour is not even that much of a side tangent here. Right? I don't even use Rush Hour as an escape tool that much. I think it's better used to deliver the pizza Since you're gonna get it back if you deliver the pizza, and if the killer starts targeting you after that, you're gonna have rush hour again to escape. So overall, I think both are pretty dumb here. And I'm smart and cool and handsome. Am I right?
Tools. They're more like chase tools in name than actual reliable ways of escaping a killer.
They
But I
are
really said
reliable
that in the
ways.
Elliot video that while the other supports might have chase tools, they're not on command, and
They are. Dusakar. Zap. Fuck you, cool kid. Go back to your father. Taff. Boom, boom, bitch. Like he placed a bomb. Fuck you. I just looped you to hell. Builderman, not really much. If you destroy the sentry once and you keep targeting him, he can't build it again. But that's fine because he had the sentry for 1 second. And also, Builderman is not supposed to be that strong because he's not really supposed to be being chased. He's supposed to be away from the killer. He's supposed to build his things, do gens, and just kind of keep building his things. If you're getting chased, you're playing Builderman bad. You're not supposed to get chased. And if you're being chased, sucks to suck, I guess. Be your weakness. You're like the support that can defend himself that well. Same goes for Elliot too. But
that's why they're fair in comparison to Rush Hour. Taft's 3
no, they're pretty much the same thing. If you have a tap bomb, in my opinion, is way more unfair than a rush hour, because not only is pretty much a rush hour for every survivor immobilizing you for like 4 seconds, he can do it mid chase easily. So no.
Tripwires can be broken easily, and a subspace trip mine can be outright ignored if you have good camera control and run.
Yeah. Until he gets close to it or put it in a doorway. You have no choice but like you either activate it or you punch it. You waste your M1 with the cooldown. You have to punch it, so you have to stop, punch it, so he can get back a little. No, nothing.
To the helpless. Builderman gets 1 sentry, and both of them can't really place new things directly in a chase.
Taff can actually.
More outside of a chase in preparation.
Taff can.
And Dusik
He just can't put tripwires, but he can trip mines, which are his best tool.
Car's plasma beam is most of the time better off used not directly in a chase.
Yes. But in a chase, it's fucking good. Like, it's best used as a support tool, but in a chase, it's also really good because you're slowing down the killer and you can run away.
More
Like, Dusakar, something too, I think everyone has noticed, Dusakar players are always really good in escaping, and that probably wouldn't be possible without Plasma Beam. Because while like you're recharging stamina and the killer is also recharging, you're thinking that when we start running again, you're gonna be slowing. Slow as hell.
outside of a chase. And all 3 of them are very vulnerable to targeting, just like an Elliot would soda throw instead of Rush Hour.
Yeah, but the Elliot literally can't do fucking anything. He doesn't have anything. These guys have something. Elliot's just... Elliot's not as... I was about to say submissive. What am I thinking? Elliot is with Soda Throw, Elliot is way more... Oh fuck, I'm almost done. With Soda Throw, Elliot is still gonna die. No, Elliot is gonna die way more than the rest, because the rest at least have a way to defend themselves. Elliot, fuck no. And the thing about Elliot is that unlike the other supports, he's not really a backliner. He has to stay a little bit in front to deliver the pizzas. He has to get in front some way. If he's just in the back like a fucking builder man, he's not gonna be able to deliver the pizza. Or he'll miss the pizza and the survivor won't be able to get it in time and stuff. That's just basic Elliot knowledge. So Soda Throw would suck, because sure, I would love Soda Throw personally, because I'd rather I could die just so my teammates can win. I'm more of a team player. I don't really care for winning that much. I just want my team to win. If I did my job, I don't care. If I died as guest, I don't care, as long as my team won. Because listen, my opinion, if the survivors won, I won too. Right? Because this isn't a solo game, this is a team game. Even if I'm dead, my team won and I was part of that. I would love Soda Throw, but it would make Elliot too fragile, and I also think it would be too OP, you know. Still, no rush hour, you can't do shit. If the killer's on you, you're just bound to die eventually, because you can't do a little dash forward. If you're in a corner, fuck you.
And I don't think you get to use public lobbies as proof of a bad Elliot rework when you literally said previously to judge characters by their performance in a lobby of good players.
Yeah, hold up. Craft's cooking here, he's actually right, yeah. W Craft here, he's right. But still, I think we should be judging by public servers, because I'm not gonna bother to listen to comptards like, oh, the mega level 3002 time that like does the like fucking tricky stab that is actually ineffective in anything other than your private servers. I know comp players aren't really to be trusted to me, because they play the game so differently from everyone else. I don't think we should be looking at them.
Survivors have good enough base stats to loop killers
Craft's right on this one.
for a while if they have the game knowledge and skill to dodge a few abilities,
Craft is right.
buying plenty of time for teammates to assist.
Here's the thing though. I think TQI exaggerated Soul Throw a bit. No, it wouldn't be that bad, because, I mean, even as Elliot, your Rush Hour isn't that good. Rush Hour is actually one of the worst abilities in the game, because, oh, sure, you get a speed boost, but it's really short. It's not that big of a speed boost, and you can only use it once. And it's really only a small Galaxio free card, but you're back to it. So, Soda Throw, I think, would just make Elliot a little bit more easy to kill, but not that much, because, I mean, I'm the Elliot main here, and I'm gonna be honest, I usually just don't use Rush Hour mid-chase. I just don't think it's a good idea Soda Throw in general, because it'd just be too OP for supporting, and there's no problem with fucking Rush Hour, dude. If Elliot uses Rush Hour in you, he's not gonna use it anymore. You're just gonna catch up to him later. Like what? He bought 20 seconds of time. It's actually pretty good, but not that much.
You can dislike not having an instant chase extender in Rush Hour, but to say the rework is bad because it's bad in pubs and he becomes a chase magnet aren't sufficient enough reasons to prove it.
Actually, they are. If a survivor becomes a chase magnet because he has no longer a self-defense ability, that is a good, reason. That is a good reason to not like your fucking rework. Because if he's a chase magnet, nobody gonna play him, and playing him will be ass, because you're just gonna be chased the entire round. Even if your team helps, he's still gonna be chasing you. So, yeah, I'd say it's pretty fair to not. It's a pretty fair criticism. You shouldn't make a survivor that everyone wants to chase. You know, you don't want to make a. What's the name of that guy? Like, that has the pink purple clothes, and he's walking around the city, and like everyone's following him because he has a big butt, right? Animan Studios, I think, don't want to make a survivor that's the Animan Studio for killers, where they instantly start going for him because this guy's gonna die so easily, and he's supporting the team. Fuck him. No, you don't want that.
Supports will always get tunneled in ASIM games.
Yeah, by bad players. Any good killer knows that you shouldn't over focus the support, right? You should focus, obviously they are big priority, but you shouldn't over focus them, otherwise you're gonna get fucked by the rest of the team. So the thing is, if the support dies too fast, his team is not gonna be able to help him anyways.
Comes free with your undoing the killer's progress abilities. We thought you'd know this with all the experience you keep touting. Oh, also, completely ignore the compromise rework guide in the video too.
Why is it
Perhaps you're right, Still, he was criticizing your other rework, not this rework. He was just criticizing your other rework for sucking. I think he even mentioned that you had other reworks, and he didn't have bother with those. He just wanted to criticize the bad one. I don't see a problem with that.
Horrible because it turns Guest into a monstrously broken survivor that
He's right.
killers will never be able to beat. So it shouldn't be difficult to understand why Guest should definitely not have access to a self-heal. And on top
Yes, that's right. He shouldn't. Two-time has it because he fucking needs it. If he doesn't have it, he's fucked constantly. Guest doesn't need self-heals. If he had self-heals, he would be really strong, right? Like, Die of Death block is better than Guest purely because of the heal. Fuck blocking. You get 10 health. That's really good. Now imagine healing like 20 health if you land a punch or a block, I guess. I think it's a block, you get 20 health. No, that's bad. That's really bad.
top of that self-heal, Kraft thinks Guest should be able to punch without blocking.
This also sucks. You shouldn't be able to punch without blocking. For a couple of reasons. I don't think it would be that OP. Because you're just a Shaletsky. The problem is, you're gonna be a better Shaletsky, right? You're gonna be a better Shaletsky, and you're also defeating the purpose of Guest. Because the point of Guest is that if he just had a punch, he's just Shaletsky. And now you have to earn your punch. It's kind of like this. It's a missed. I think Guest is just a missed potential survivor. Sentinel in the case, because he's a good Sentinel and a bad survivor. Here's what I'm trying to say. I think he just missed potential because if you the thing about Guess is that he's supposed to have a really great stun, but you have to work for the stun. If you have the stun all the time, it doesn't really matter. You know Guess is really gonna block outside of like walk speed override, you know, because there's no reason to. You're just gonna punch and you have a charge. Fuck. If you want to negate damage, just charge. You know what I'm saying? So the punch, you're supposed to earn it. That's why in my humble little opinion, I think the punch should be buffed a little bit. I don't think they should buff the stun per se. I just think it should be easier to hit or a bit more instant. That's it. But I don't think you should be able to punch without blocking. That just kind of lobotomizes the character.
This rework gives Guest 2 unconditional disrupt tools, along with a conditional one that can completely negate damage, grant speed, inflict slowness, and readies the punch ability instantly
TQI is kind of exaggerating the block. It's not that good, dude.
while empowering it with a quicker windup, longer.
Let me drink some water. My throat. Oh my god, I have a femboy throat right now. Jesus. Crazy.
range, lengthy
I'm yapping too much, dude. This video's like, what, an hour by now? I don't know.
your stun time, improved knockback, and now self-healing.
Okay, first off. Second off, you neglect to mention that this would mostly benefit.
Okay, yeah. It doesn't matter if it's potential balancing. The potential balancing fucking sucks, and I think he has a total right to, you know, criticize it if he doesn't like it. It doesn't matter its potential. It's kind of like this. It's kind of like the opinion thing. Oh, it's just an opinion. It doesn't matter. Just because an opinion doesn't mean you can criticize it. This thing goes for a potential fix. Oh, this could be a potential fix. I don't know. It doesn't matter if it's potential fix. We should criticize it because if you really think about it, the whole point of it being a potential fix is that criticism will help you make a better design. That's just obvious. Jesus.
Fit lower skill players. You know, the intended goal of the suggestion and the largest issue.
Yeah, here's something though. Once again, remember when you said that TQI was like being selfish and you're not the world, bro? How about Kraft? You're not the fucking world, dude. How about you stop trying to buff Guest to be better for newbie players like you or bad players like you? Oh, we gotta cater to the bad players. No. He's supposed to be a skilled survivor. Why the hell would he make him easier to play and a more easier and like strong as hell survivor? because, oh, it sucks for new players. That's just not a very good logic. We shouldn't be dumbing down a survivor just to make him a little bit easier for new players. The same can be said for 1x rework, where they dumbed him down and made him, because, oh, he was, I know, something really bad, really bad reasoning, kind of killing 1x because now he's extremely easy to win pretty much every round. You shouldn't be doing that to other characters. Just because new players suck at them doesn't mean jack shit. Fuck the new players. Learn to play or play another character.
With guest right now. The chip heal
Like, yeah, let's add auto aim to sniper because it's hard to aim new players.
parry could literally be a tiny 5 health bonus to give him a slight edge and greater reward for going through the effort of landing a parry. And punch on a long cooldown is nowhere
Yeah, he already gets rewarded for landing a parry. A massive ass stun.
near as overpowered as you claim.
Let me go back.
And punch on a long cooldown is nowhere near as overpowered as you claim.
Yeah, it's not gonna be that overpowered. I mean, it's definitely gonna be overpowered. Not that much. So it just shouldn't be, because you're kind of killing guest. The whole point is that you're supposed to have a punch. One of the ideas I had was sponge stacking, but that requires testing, right? Here's the thing though, when I think of an idea, for like balance, especially in Forsaken, I tend to like overanalyze my idea. Like, oh, it's potential, so it doesn't matter, it can be fixed. No. I'm like thinking on that shit for days. Because it's important to balance, right? So, and I thought, stacking punches, is that really OP or not, right? And my conclusion is that I probably think it would be a good thing, but I'd rather it get tested to see if it's good. You know?
Shorter stuns suck at self-defense, and thus punch on a cooldown would just be a way for less skilled guests to pose some threat to killers chasing someone else. After all, using a stun move...
Yeah, maybe, but this is gonna make guests not want to block. Like, there's just gonna be so many guests that just do fucking nothing.
makes you stand still for a bit, wasting time you could have spent on walking away for distance while regenerating stamina. And the killer probably won't overflow in stamina, leading to a net loss of, I don't know, 2 seconds of walk time. Basically nothing for killers with naturally slower walk speeds. Oh, and third, what was that point you made about me dumbing down things? Dude is projecting an entire movie over here. Unfortunately, we're out of popcorn. Only the cherries he's been picking over this video are available for snacks. Just look at the Shadletsky comparison.
If it's still not clear how broken this is,
I don't see where he dumbed down. Also, quit talking about cherry picking. You're doing the same shit, and you always do the same shit in all your videos. I can just go back, and in this video, I already pointed out many of your quote-unquote cherry picking. This is not even cherry picking. I'm saying cherry picking because you think it is cherry picking. You say this is cherry picking. This is not cherry picking. He just... so stupid, dude.
think about if you took Shadletsky, gave him 15 extra max health, gave him hit priority, combined his chicken and sword ability, and gave him 2 extra abilities that can negate damage and provide various other
Yeah, that sounds really busted.
buffs. Oh, and one of those extra abilities temporarily empowers his sword to wind up quicker, stun for longer, and have more range if used successfully. Does that
Yeah, that sounds really fucking strong.
sound fair? Because that's basically Craft's idea of a balanced guest.
I don't think I need to explain why comparing a 55-second punch with a chip heal if it's a parry to Shadletsky's unconditional slash combined with guaranteed 40 on-command health is beyond disingenuous.
A little bit. Kinda right. But still. A punch. 50 seconds. That's actually... I'm thinking right now. Sure, I think TQI just... I think TQI is just wrong, to me at least. But I have problems with the rework on other things. Not that it's overpowered. I don't have a problem that it's overpowered. I mean, it is very strong, a bit too strong to me. But I don't have a problem that it's overpowered. I just have a problem that it completely makes Guest stupid and lobotomizes him. Just like they've been doing with everything cool about this game. and just turning him into a different Shaletsky. I think he should be unique.
TQI also oversells Charge as amazing damage negation when negating an M1 with it is almost useless if you don't do it on a slope, and can even be dangerous if you shove the killer away from a stun. Then exaggerates everything else to comedic effect to claim that tiny guest buffs would make him an unkillable beast. Also
Yeah, kind of right. TQI exaggerated. Damn, Kraft has some W's here.
love how you cherry picked from the video that I gave him a heal and ignored the part where I suggested he could get a max health reduction if it's too problematic. Worst comes to worst, if any of these reworks
Kind of right.
truly push guest 1337 over the edge, like the potential balancers will claim, he could get a nerf in health by 5. I sure wonder why you aren't.
Yeah, maybe, but 5 health is nothing. The 5 health buff literally changes nothing, so nothing changed. He's still just as good as the buff.
Telling everyone the whole story, TQI. Anyways, let's move on.
He quite literally dumbs it down to Cool Kid is only as good as Walk Speed Override is.
Isn't
I am the cool kid Blazer. He dissed cool kid. I can't.
entire viability is dependent on one ability.
There's no problem with that.
And then doesn't even have a way to make Cool Kid's Walk Speed Override more stable.
What a yuck, look at that. Level 59 builder, man. TQI, the fuck you doing? Go play some support, help your team.
So he just throws it a cooldown and end lag adjustment. So to summarize, he analyzes Cool Kid incorrectly, then somehow doesn't even come up with a working solution to a Cool Kid problem.
Yeah, and this doesn't fucking matter. You made a video called The Cool Kid Problem. Fix Cool Kid in the Cool Kid video. Yeah. Like, what, you're gonna fix Cool Kid in the next video or some shit? Also, speaking of which, the Cool Kid video sucked because it's pretty much, oh, Walk Speed Override is the only reason Cool Kid's good. And that goes for literally every other killer. Killers, if you took an ability from almost every other killer, they would suck. Let's say Corrupt Energy away from John Doe, he's useless. Right. And Walk Speed Override is a busted ability. So yeah, what does that do to Cool Kid? Doesn't really do much. I don't see a problem with a killer that depends on an ability. That's just not a bad thing. That's a good thing. A simple, cool little killer, not a Nosferatu with 1,000 abilities.
Literally the concept of a video series. Now, let me explain why Cool Kid is only as good as Walk Speed Override is not the same statement as his entire viability is dependent on Walk Speed Override. Cool Kid's corrupt nature has largely remained the same because it's a super balanced ability. It's good, thumbs up. And his pizza deliveries minions largely only fill the role of anti-loop and aura reveal. After all, guest charge, chances one shot, and noob slate skin potions can get rid of minions. Or someone can just lead them away, which is quite common.
Yeah, but if you lead them away, you're kind of stunned for that whole time, having to, you know, lead them away. So, yeah, you just deactivated a survivor at least, so not that bad.
Plus, Walk Speed Override is the easiest ability to tweak, is X Factor, and is what controls his playstyle of jumping between targets to blitz them down. Walk Speed Override requiring 3 M1s to kill after is much different than just 2 M1s, especially since he can regain stamina during Walk Speed Override. Slamming someone you see running or waiting to use Walk Speed Override when you have most of your stamina can easily place yourself in a gashing wound / void rush situation where the chase is reset and you can abuse your 28 sprint speed and 10 extra stamina to quickly finish them off in 2 hits, no problem. A single point of damage can be the difference between a guy escaping chase to pop a medkit, eat a pizza, or...
Okay, no, Cool Kid doesn't need any changes. That's it. Cool Kid's not OP. He's the most balanced killer in the game.
outright escaping the chase to hide where Builderman's dispenser is. Because of this, changing the damage by even 1 can result in a big difference in Walk Speed Override's effectiveness. See how volatile this is for his balancing? When I commended the Forsaken devs for designing a killer that had such an interesting balancing problem, I meant it. Tweaking walk speed override's cooldown to be a little higher is a very small nerf for good players who are smart enough to hold on to walk speed override until they need it. And the end lag reversion
I mean,
when crashing into a wall only makes starting chase with walk speed override by running into a wall near survivors slightly less effective.
like, listen, the problem is you did absolutely nothing. Your changes change nothing. In fact, these changes, if they were put in the game, I wouldn't care. They literally don't seem to change anything important enough. In the sense that it's a nothing change. You didn't do anything. Cool Kid's still really good and just as good as walk speed. See, what he's trying to say is that you did nothing here, right? And you frame this video as like the Cool Kid problem. Like, Cool Kid has this massive problem and, you know, he's unbalanced. When in reality, you didn't do nothing, which shows that there's no problem. There's no real problem. Yeah.
Allowing Cool Kid
Guys, am I talking too loud? I hope I'm not.
to be properly nerfed without touching the rest of his balanced abilities and stats or ruining what makes walk speed override good. Almost as if I was trying to tweak his power level while avoiding the balancing problems of walk speed override's volatility. You know, the main point I was making in the video? Reworks like these aren't going to be everyone's cup
This isn't a rework. It's a small little buff. Stop calling it a rework. It's just a little buff. Doesn't change anything.
of tea as it's all theoretical. We're never truly going to know just how good something like Soda Throw is unless it's directly in Forsaken. But claiming that they're stupid and terrible to a hyperbolic degree is closer to clickbaiting people for views than constructive.
Yeah, he just criticized your thing. He doesn't like it. He thinks it sucks. And he's saying that. What do you mean clickbaiting? He's doing a pretty normal thing. He doesn't like the changes. He really doesn't like the changes. Is it clickbaiting to say that these changes are really bad in his opinion? No.
Criticism. Especially
Also, it isn't clickbaiting because it's not on the thumbnail and it's not on the title. It's in the video. It's not clickbaiting. The person already fucking clicked.
after slamming me for raising my voice in videos, and then doing exactly that in your own video against me.
I don't remember that. I don't remember him raising his voice at all. Aside from like a little tiny little whiny little bit. Yeah, no. It doesn't make any sense. He didn't really raise his voice at all.
Moving on to Flying's typo within the 2-time video.
Yeah, I'm interested for this one. Alright. I'm interested. Oh my god, I'm fucking almost done. I'm interested.
You know that one. It's been shown everywhere. We explicitly stated right after, on the screen, that 2-time has 110 health, which was also shown directly in the Forsaken Slop video. How do you miss this? All roads lead back to Flying's typo, which leads me to believe this point.
I gotta say it, dude. TQI. He literally stated in the video, he acknowledged that you corrected it in editing. He was just criticizing a little typo. That's it. He didn't focus on that. He didn't give a fuck. A really big. He like that one fuck. No, not 24 fucks about that. Why you keep bringing that up? He brought it up once, maybe once or twice in this video. That's it. Jesus.
How do you miss this? All roads lead back to Flying's typo, which leads me to believe this point was just made up.
You, my typo. You talk about my typo.
Because the fact is that if we're talking about professionalism here, forging your entire Forsaken identity on trolling and general toxicity to others, and then asking
Are we fucking serious, dude? What are you, the fucking pussy unit? Oh, you fucking emoted on me. I'm trying not to be mean, trying not to be biased. I'm holding off on saying the R word this video. Are we fucking serious, dude? Toxic? Fucking making Forsaken trolling videos. And he doesn't even do that anymore. So, like, what's your point here? And, like, he's trying to complain about professionalism because you try to make your content professional. You pass yourself as a professional content creator. He certainly does not. He doesn't pass himself as like a professional. He passes himself as a regular YouTuber. You like to be professional, you know. See, guys, I'm the Forsaken analyzer. The 2-time the cool kid analysis, right? You pass yourself as professional. So I think it's okay that he complains about that. While being unprofessional. Because he's not trying to be professional. Dude, if you go to a restaurant, I'm stealing from Zesty here. If you go to a restaurant and you eat the food, it doesn't matter if you're a chef or not. It doesn't matter if you're a professional chef. You know when your food is garbage. You don't need to be a professional just like the chef to know when your food fucking sucks. And him making, in my opinion, less quality content than you, excuse me, doesn't mean his point isn't valid. That's kind of like saying, oh, you don't like this game? Do better then. It's kind of like that. And also, extreme ad hominem here. Who the fuck cares about his content? How about start worrying about his arguments? Because in his video, he barely talks about you as a person. He's talking about your videos. And I've noted this. You seem to be talking a lot about his person here. Keep mentioning his subscriber count. Keep mentioning, you know, all that stuff. Why? He doesn't mention your person that much. He just cares about your content. He's criticizing your content, not you. This is not like he said in the Discord message. Don't take this like made of hatred. This isn't made up by hatred. This isn't like mean spirit. Checking the recording real quick, sorry.
Looking for it over typos is egregious and once again cherry picking. Apparently, he claims he didn't watch our videos like a vulture, despite his entire video being focused on just a couple of videos, which
Yes, you should watch all of your fucking videos. Okay, he should watch all of your videos. He should watch all of your videos, read all of your points. He should make like a, how about he makes a fucking documentary? He makes a documentary. How do you say that word? Documentary. He makes a documentary about your fucking channel. Like analyzes every video and every flaw. No, that's just implausible. Why would he do that? You're asking too much. He's just gonna analyze the videos he finds need to be analyzed. That's it. Why would he analyze the entirety of all your videos when most of your videos are pretty inoffensive? He's just criticizing your worst videos, your bad videos. 99% of your videos are just basic bitch shit like, oh, Veronica to be situation map. The 2-time reward was deserved. That's it. Why would he analyze that?
are taken grossly out of proportion and trying to make a big deal out of nothing burgers that shouldn't even be in a constructive criticism video. This all started with a tantrum over the 2-time.
Yeah, except he doesn't really focus on them that much. Like, talks about them for like 2 seconds and moves on to actual arguments.
Video and always seems to come back full.
Not very say tantrum when all he did was say, I didn't like your video. How is it a tantrum? Couldn't I say this video is a tantrum? Like, you got so mad he made a video dissing you that you must make a video coming back to, isn't that a tantrum as well? What's wrong with him saying, I don't like your video, I think your opinion is bad?
Circle to.
I gotta check. Am I being too loud? I'm paranoid here. Oh god, I think I am. Let me just talk a bit more quiet over here like this. Fuck, that's fucking loud.
Do it.
Okay, listen guys, sorry if I'm being too loud. Okay.
Unlike TQI's thinly veiled hit piece with a shoddy disclaimer to avoid harassment,
Okay. That's just disingenuous. That's just disingenuous. So you're saying he only put this disclaimer to avoid harassment. A shoddy disclaimer that was only to put harassment. So you're first off, you're assuming that's what disclaimers are, and secondly, you're pretty much just fucking over the disclaimer. Fuck you, disclaimer. You're not actually real. You're just saying that. Let me drink some water. Going back. You're pretty much just saying, no, this disclaimer is just so I don't get harassed. That's disingenuous. Fuck if I've ever seen anything. You're trying to claim that this disclaimer isn't actually true. It's only there to stop harassment. Like, look at here. TQI says, don't think this is some drama or hatred fueled. It isn't. It's just criticism. Here, let me use your own logic against you. You don't like this guy's criticism? Okay then. What? You don't like criticism? Stop making a hatred-based video about it, dude. You made this video out of hate because you hate, right? But I don't get it, dude. Your logic falls flat.
slapped on top, I actually want to take the time to give feedback to TQI for his video. So,
Okay, this is gonna be interesting. Oh fuck. Fucking 4 minutes left. I wanna leave.
right now. I think the most obvious thing to note is that if you're saying you're giving constructive criticism, you have to actually give constructive criticism for people to learn from. We take the time to make how to fix sections for my rants. So I think TQI can take a little bit of time to
It kinda did though. He's all like it's probably because you didn't notice it because it was kinda subtle in this video. But he was like, do more research. Play the game a little bit more, consult better players, all that good stuff. That's just basic things he said throughout the video. Just because he doesn't make like a 12,000 minute part, it's just like how you can fix like a fucking lecture on how to fix your channel. That doesn't mean he didn't give constructive criticism.
give some advice too for the parts he doesn't like, rather than just saying it's all bad and then moving on.
But he gives criticism, and also even if he didn't give criticism, but let's say he didn't give criticism, even if he didn't give criticism, he still has the right to say this all sucks, here's why. He says why. It's not just unjustified. So no point here.
For example, here's my constructive criticism on your rant. If you want to farm someone for content, you should at least
Buddy, you're edging my R word. Dude. Immediately assuming he's doing this to farm content. Not because he wants to make a video, not because he wants to criticize this guy, alright? No. It's all farming content. Yes, he doesn't actually give a fuck. He doesn't actually think these things. He just wants to farm content, guys. He just wants to put fuel in the fire and get views. Are we fucking serious? Dude, if you wanted to farm content, you would be doing lots of other shit. If you wanted to farm content, he would keep making Forsaken trolling videos. If you want to farm content, he would become the second Sharky Leo. If you want to farm content, he would become Jick. No, he's just criticizing your video. You immediately say farming content. Oh, he's farming content. Like, dude, no, that's this once again. That's disingenuous. You're immediately assuming he's just doing this to farm content, and also this is a dumbing down of his video because it implies he doesn't actually think these things. He just wants to farm content, right? So fucking sucks. No, I'm gonna say this. Fuck you. No, he's not farming content, dude. He's just criticizing you. Jesus.
Watch their videos closely. You have a community of 200,000 subscribers, so if you're going to do something like mention my thoughts on Unstoppable, and then completely ignore what I said in the Not a Masterclass video, where I said Unstoppable still needs a buff, or mention my
That doesn't mean anything.
guest buff and ignore the part where he could lose max health as compensation,
Lose 5 health, which changes nothing.
you're doing both your community and the entire Forsaken community a disservice by unintentionally or even maliciously misrepresenting my arguments. Although
He didn't misrepresent any. I'm tired, dude. He didn't misrepresent any of your arguments. My lip touched the microphone. He didn't misrepresent anything.
if you're not keen on doing all of that research, based on how much you've talked about being a guest main and showing that in your content, you could probably look to doing something positive for the community instead, like updating your guest 1337 guide, or even make
Hey, buddy. Wanna know something fucking funny? Literally all your content is nothing but crying and fucking complaining. Your content is never positive in any way. Why are you complaining that this video he's made was negative and that he should start making positive content when all you do is bitch and moan about the game? Is there a problem with making a more negative video? No. There's no problem with him criticizing your video. I know it's negative. I know it's harsh. But that's how it goes. That's tough love. You can't just keep making positive, wholesome chungus videos all the time. I think it's listen. The modern internet is way too much. I think that has way too many pussies, way too many, the Twinkie fanboys people. But like, dude, I think we should normalize criticizing other creators. It doesn't matter if they're smaller or bigger, or maybe even they're just doing it for fun. I think it should be normalized back to criticize other content creators, because that is a good thing, right? It doesn't matter if you don't like the criticism, and if it's negative, right? I know it's kind of sucks, but I don't get why people are like so abrasive to anything that is a bit more negative towards another creator. Like, yeah, fuck, it's fine to criticize the Forsaken devs constantly. Like, it's fine to be a bitch to them, but we can't be that to content creators, the also innocent content creators. Get out of there.
making guides on other Forsaken characters. Like it or not, guess being a noob trap is a big issue, and if you don't like that, then you could help fix it by
Well, he just so happened to argue why he doesn't think he's a noob trap. You're pretending like him being a noob trap is kind of factual.
making a
Not very good.
guide more suited towards beginners. Nothing extremely advanced.
Isn't that what he does, I think? I don't know. I don't watch TQI that much. I like watch some of his trolling videos. They're fine. Not that much my cup of tea. Like, the only trolling YouTuber I watch is Vorobay, because he makes good shit. But a lot of trolling YouTubers, I don't know, just make a lot of slop. TQI not so much. His trolling videos are good because they're genuine, and they're not very mean-spirited. He's not like being a fucking asshole. He kind of waits for the angry people to come to him, right? His trolling videos are kind of okay, but not that something I would watch that much.
As a new player isn't going to be at that skill level yet. Just the basics you need to know to
Doesn't make fucking guest guides, dude.
pick up guests and attempt to be useful to your team.
And also, once again, treating like guest being a noob trap. Am I recording? Yes. You're treating it like guest being a noob trap. It's like this objective, factual thing. It's not.
As for me, I'll try to elaborate a little bit more when explaining stuff in future content, so the door isn't left wide open for stuff to get misunderstood.
Alright, good. Nice. Fuck, fine. I'm finally getting happy, dude. Fucking finally, dude.
Yeah, I said, you'll heal a bit of health in the guest suggestion, but, you know, how much? Wouldn't hurt to have an estimate on how much. Stuff like that. Well, I have.
Well, that's just improving your video a little. I don't mind that much. Like, if it's a little bit of health, I'd like to know the value, but it's not that big of a deal. It's just a way to improve your content, you know? You learn from, well, criticism. Isn't that what you're doing right now? You heard this criticism and you're learning from it. Shocker, right? Like TQI actually fucking worked. You listened to one of his criticisms. Wow.
I've been on top of this more in recent videos, it wouldn't hurt to put a little bit more focus on it. The Guest Masterclass Part 2 is coming soon, and that'll be a great opportunity to work on this, so stay tuned in the coming weeks. This video isn't made to discourage constructive criticism. Far
Thank
from
you.
it, actually.
Thank
If
you.
the basis of TQI's video was about the state of balance and critiquing my how to fix suggestions with his own suggestions, if any, that's healthy. Balancing is a difficult realm to traverse in ASIMs and has been a point of contention for years. Believe it or not, even before.
I mean, it wasn't really that. His video was mostly just, I don't like your video, here's why. It has less to do with balancing the game and more to do with him thinking your videos are not that great.
or Forsaken. It also goes to show just how polarizing the two sides of the coin are when it comes to game balance. One of us is focused on only the highest tier and competitive mindset, while the other is focused on the moderate, the average experience of a good server as a whole. Balanced discussion should encourage these perspectives, and suggestions about them should be taken as that, suggestions. Again, disagreeing with my ideas is perfectly fine. Arguing
Thank
a
you.
different perspective and your own take is even better. I've literally
Great.
told you guys, time and time again, if you have
Yes.
a different idea than
Holy
mine,
fuck, I'm creaming all over the pace with this right now. Actually a good outro to the video. Oh my god, dude.
in a video, post it in the comments. Blatantly attacking them isn't going to go anywhere, however.
Yeah, disingenuous. He isn't blatantly attacking you. He's just criticizing your content. You're fine, Nicholas. It's over. It's almost over. He's not attacking you. He's criticizing your content. You claim this is an attack. It is not. The fuck you smoking, dude? Everything is an attack nowadays. If you just happen to criticize a smaller creator, you're attacking. Dude, he's not attacking you, dude. He's just criticizing your content. He was very light in the video. He was very light in the video. He didn't insult you. He wasn't mean-spirited. Listen, in the Pappo video, when I made that, I was insulting Pappo because I didn't really give a fuck. I'm being very constructive here. No, not constructive, sorry. I'm being very respectful here, right? Because, you know, I'm not attacking you, and TQI didn't attack you either. He just criticized your videos. There's no attacking in that. Aren't you attacking him by weaponizing your audience? You know, like this SC Jesus. You're swinging your audience like a mace. It's kind of what you're doing here, aren't you? No, you're not. That's ridiculous. Same goes for TQI. He's not attacking you by criticizing your content, whether you like it or not. He's just criticizing your content. He never once implies you're a bad person. He never once implies that you're like this terrible person. No. Stop exaggerating things. Jesus. You're like a Twitter user.
I personally don't think only balancing around comp Seiken is the best or healthiest for the game, and will
Yeah, but he didn't really do that. He wasn't just comp Seiken. I gotta say this. Put it on my chest. Fuck comp Seiken. Fuck competitive. I hate competitive gaming. It ruined gaming. Anyways, going back. He wasn't just talking about comp Forsaken. In fact, most of his gameplay wasn't pubs. He probably just plays pubs too. He wasn't just competitive Forsakening here. If you catch my drift.
stand by that. No need for inconsistent opinions there. And ultimately, TQI, this could have been a DM or something, bro. No need for the content farming or
Why though? Why would he fucking DM you being like, dude, your videos suck. I don't like them. Could you improve? That doesn't make any sense. In fact, in my opinion, that would just be even more disrespectful. You're just going to someone's DM saying, "Hey, could you start making the videos the way I want, rather than just sharing your opinions online?" No, that's terrible. Why would he make a DM? If he made a DM, buddy, listen. If you made a DM, what the fuck was that? If he just DM'd you, being like, dude, I have some complaints about your fucking content. I know what you would do the exact same you think it did here, but you probably would relegate to a community post. Now this TQI guy is so petty, dude. He has like 200 something subscribers, and he's in my fucking DMs being a bitch about my content. You know, so no argument there, I guess. That's just no. A DM doesn't make any sense. And once again, you assume he's content farming with no actual proof or evidence. There's no reason to believe that. I'm still baffled. What do you mean? A DM. I'm gonna DM. Let me guess. Like, I shouldn't have reacted to this video. Let me DM you, Mr. Kraft. Kraft. Here's what I didn't like about your videos. Here, read this. That does jack shit. The point of making a video is because other people also have problems with your videos, and he's giving them not only a platform to express that, right? Because all I saw was you getting glazed to hell and back. So yeah, he's giving a platform to these people. Not only that, he's also expressing the many concerns people have for your videos. If you just relegate that to the DM, if people just started criticizing each other through DMs, you'd have 1,000 DMs of random people just being like, "I didn't like your video. Here's why." No, that sucks. Why not just do the obvious thing and make a video? This isn't a content farm. Ugh.
Unnecessary drama, you know, unless that's what you were looking for.
This isn't. It's almost over. This isn't drama. It never was drama. It's just him criticizing your fucking video. He himself says, "Don't take this as drama or hatred fueled. It's just a critique. Whether you think it sucks or not, it is undeniable. This isn't drama, and he doesn't want it to be." You treat this like a drama. I see this so many with these YouTubers, by the way. They treat it like it's a drama because if you do that, you can paint yourself as a victim a little bit more. But there's no drama here. There's no victims. There's nothing going on. It's just a guy making a video. Your video sucks, and you making a video saying, "No, you." That's it. There's no drama here. Jesus fucking Christ, pissing me off so much.
There's better ways to maintain relevance.
Also, you're like trying to insinuate that he wants drama. No.
After walking away from your supposed past of slop, as I mentioned previously.
Once again, you're assuming he did this purely for views, not because he cares. Isn't this like a fallacy or something? When you're like, actually, they don't care about this. They just want the views and the money. That's exactly what you're doing here. Give me a second. Never mind.
And I do hope things can improve for both of us as we move on. See ya.
That's it. I'm free. I'm fucking free. Okay. This video fucking sucks. This video is garbage, dude. Like, you had some pretty good points, actually. Like, lots of great points. Not lots, a few. You had a few great points, you know. Some stuff you said is actually really good, really meaningful. It makes sense. But you also had terrible takes and terrible arguments here. This video was mostly a dud, dude. I know my biggest problem with this video is you pretending like this is drama and pretending like this is some sort of beef. It is not. It's just a guy criticizing your video. Okay, that's all I had to say. Thanks for watching. And a few will stick this far because this video is fucking humongous. I have one thing to say. A word. I have been waiting so long. Now that the video's over, I'm not insulting anyone. Retard. Not directed at anyone. I'm just putting it out there. Phew, Jesus fucking Christ. I gotta end recording, dude. This was... Oh my lord.